We are back. Finally, the OG Jason is back with me to do the latest episode of the Irrelevant Podcast.
I'm so excited.
He really is because we're doing a special one tonight. Do you want to explain to them what we're doing?
It's the first time we've seen our faces together in a while, and this is the first time we've done it on camera or on microphone, I should say.
We're not doing this shit on camera.
On microphone, and we're gonna get drunk as fuck together. This is a special moment. I'm so excited,
Oh
buddy.
shit. Okay. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Well, we'll see how the night goes because we actually have very kind of contrasting alcohol genetics. Wait, you got like the Appalachian alcohol genetics, right?
What the? No, that's meth. That's the meth genetics.
No,
I
but
don't
like
make moonshine, if that's what you're asking me.
no, well, it's I guess it could be that. No, but in the sense like every single people has like their own sort of like you either have good or the bad to like varying levels. Like where you get like Appalachian people get like really addicted to alcohol.
I think every poor white person in general gets addicted to
Well,
alcohol.
yeah. Well, most poor white people are Appalachian people,
It's true. We are the poorest the demographic. No, it's
and that's not a bad thing, I must say. There's a lot about Appalachian culture that's actually kind of cool.
yeah. What are you, a fucking coal miner? God. No, I
Yeah.
it's the part Mexican. I mean, it's probably the one that can't hold my alcohol.
Oh, really? Man, we should have been drinking the tequilas, dude.
No, dude, I don't know. I've always been a lightweight, but I've never needed to get excessively drunk, so it's always worked on my wallet and my stomach.
Yeah, I think me, like, I don't really know if I'm a light or a heavyweight. I'm kind of just
I mean, if you can down half a bottle of tequila and get like, feeling
and drive
and
home.
drive home,
Yeah, I
well,
think.
Jesus
Oh shit,
Christ, bro.
Dude, the FBI is gonna come in.
The agent in our fucking computer is he's rubbing his hands.
Oh, I thought you said the Asian in our computer. I'm like, what is it? Oh, like the CCP is
There
like
probably
hacking
is
it.
an Asian guy jacking off to this right now. And
It's
he's
not
just
Asian. It's probably Indian.
Asian, South Asian. It's
Oh, they are
similar.
Asians. Yeah, I
It's
forgot to say.
similar.
Yeah, East Asian as opposed to South
Somewhere with
Asian.
no AC. That's where that guy is
Right,
right now.
and he needs to like rely on super chats to pay for his internet.
You know what? I would do that too. I would be an OnlyFans super chat. Maybe not the OnlyFans part, but just the concept of.
But like it's OnlyFans and like you don't post anything sexual. It's like just like you use it as like a Kickstarter
That's not
because people think that it's gonna be sexual and it's just like some Indian dude,
who's
so they get
that?
scammed.
Who's that one bitch that did that? There's some white girl that like made an OnlyFans and didn't post any like pornographic shit on there.
Oh
Never got
yeah,
Kickstarter. Who the fuck was that?
I don't remember when how long ago was this?
It was a couple. It was during COVID. Everyone was so excited. It's funny when people get excited.
Oh, was it like the what's her name? Iggy Azalea?
No, no,
Oh, oh
this.
no, because it was rumored that like she was gonna be on Pornhub and like the Pornhub like viewership like sir, but like she never was on there. Or there was like that Twitch streamer
No, yeah.
that said she was gonna be on Pornhub, but then she never was.
There's too many of them. The one I'm thinking, I don't know if she was a streamer or not, but I just like the concept of people just getting excited for a celebrity to fucking put out porn. It's like back in the day when you have to go
Yeah.
on like fucking live leaks or no, wait, that was the murder website. What's
Well, Bill Burr made
the
a joke
fappening?
about that.
What?
Well, like how he was like, this is how to watch how you watch porn before any video. Like you had to like go to like the store and like get some like Playboy magazine and stuff like that, or you had to go to like those adult stores or whatever.
I'm so glad that was never of my era. It's funny because I've been into a couple of like adult stores just to see, and all that shit, the plastic is yellowed on all of those DVDs.
Do they still have those around?
A
It's
little bit,
like
yeah. There's some of them.
because I think most of that shit's on the internet, which honestly I think is better because like at least if it's on the internet, you could technically you could just shut it off and it's not there anymore. Whereas like you know what I mean?
Yes, I'm aware of the convenience of modern day porn.
No, but like if it's like there's a store that's like a physical like you can't just like turn that off. And like everyone like kind of sees that if that makes sense. So I think that's kind of a better thing, honestly.
I
I mean,
just,
because you know my stance on porn, but
yeah, you'd have to think about it more. You'd really have to be fucking fiending to go to an actual porn store.
well, because you know that was
You're
yeah, like
like, oh fuck, it's Sunday night at 8 o'clock. I don't know what else to do. There's no one answering my phone.
well, you know that was the idea of liquor stores. It was
What was?
that was the whole point of making a a separate store for liquor to like shame people for drinking alcohol.
That did not work.
No, I know, but you can see how that was the point where it's like because it's like if there's a store for it only for that, then whoever walks in, there's like the whole stigma of like, oh, I saw a Joe Schmo walking into the liquor store and stuff like that.
If they didn't have that mentality and they just be like, it's kind of acceptable in society, and so then you can go to like the back section of Walmart as opposed to the back
Well,
section of Spencer's.
in Walmart in Louisiana, you can buy alcohol,
Well, I know.
no, like liquor
I'm at
and shit.
porn.
Oh, porn.
I
Okay.
know you can buy some liquor in some Walmarts in the United States.
Has there ever been a back section about that in like any retail store?
Well, Spencer's, but you kind
Okay.
of, I don't know about Hot Topic, but I know Spencer's. Like Hot Topic was like the soft core for teens getting into that lifestyle.
Yeah, I remember
So,
that.
besides just getting like band T-shirts that nowhere else could get.
But like, remember the like rated A games, like the unspoken like you had to ask the guy at the counter at GameStop to like because he had like the rated A games like underneath.
I didn't goon that hard, brother. I
But
didn't
did
get
you didn't know
no,
about all that?
no.
'Cause there's only like a few games that are actually rated A, and that was apparently like the hardcore like the evil like banned video games.
I've only ever played. And why did you buy any A games as a teenager?
No, I didn't, but no, because I'm trying to remember. I think like because like I said, there's only a handful of video games that are actually A rated, kind of like the NC-17.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like I think one of them is like Manhunt. I think it's about like gay stuff or something.
A video game?
But that's just what I think. It's probably not
I'm sure the
about that
graphics are
though.
unreal.
So yeah, right. Oh shit. I
What?
forgot. I made something using like the chat GPT that you're gonna think is badass. And I'll flash it on the screen.
What do you mean you made something?
I have to show it to you. Like I made some like a cover art for a fictional video game.
Th- Why?
Because I'm me. Who else would think to make this? Like,
You're gonna fuck up and hit pause the recording.
no, I'm not, asshole.
We're gonna have to redo this bullshit.
Oh, shut up, dude.
I'm gonna top my shit off before you fuck this up. Oh my god, you're leaving me to monologue not even 10 minutes into this?
I'm literally.
Every time. They can't hear you. The microphone doesn't go that far. God damn it, every time.
Dude, I'm right here, dude. Top me off.
Ironically, I can do this better sober than I can. Slightly tipsy.
You're like,
Here we
what?
go. I haven't done this in months. I'm a little bit rusty at this. I just want to tell you guys that Will's been coming out of the closet. Progressive. Oh, he's back now.
Oh no. I became liberal.
You became.
Mean. Wait, did you see my segment about mean, evil, ugly corporate Republican man?
If you're gonna play some fucking 4chan memes to me right now, I don't fucking want to hear it.
You think that's 4chan level?
This motherfucker, I was like, hey, Will, what do you want to drink tonight? You want some whiskey? And you're like, no, I don't like whiskey because I'm not a LARPer. What the fuck? What? I'm confronting you on that now.
You've
What the
never
fuck does that
noticed.
even mean?
You of all people would have like
What do you?
like
What is
like
LARPing about
like
drinking whiskey?
because it's like, oh, I'm a cowboy.
Who the fuck thinks they're? What's like the most popular alcohol that everyone drinks? No one that
No,
drinks
but
whiskey
like,
thinks they're a fucking cowboy.
yes, there you
Unless they go to
go.
Longhorn Steakhouse with a fucking
You,
cowboy hat and
no, but
fat as fuck.
you know this shit when it comes to like people who LARP
What are you
like with
talking
like cigars and shit like that. You know
about?
what I mean? Where they think it's like
Andrew Tate bullshit, I guess.
that, yeah.
What the fuck? I'm asking you if you want to drink whiskey. What the fuck? You don't want to walk in here with fucking snake skins on?
Like
She's like,
snake
hey,
oil.
no, bro, fucking.
All right. So, anyways, I made this, and I think this would be better than GTA 6. Tell me that that would not be the hardest video game ever.
It's a picture of a bunch of narcos on the.
I'm gonna flash it on the screen.
Okay, fine. No, every time you say you're gonna do that, you never do.
I am gonna.
You've
No,
never flashed fucking image ever at all. Half the time the fucking audio's not even synced. And you're going, oh yeah, I'll fix that in post. Like you don't even put any image.
I
up, like,
am
ever.
gonna do it, dude.
Roy, what's the fucking timestamp? You're not even gonna look.
Timestamp is 9:29, dude.
Okay, fine.
Hold me to it. Think about that. Isn't that?
I would be impressed if ChatGPT didn't make it. You didn't make this. You just told it to make it.
Well, I told them to make each individual image using a pre-existing image, and then I put it in spots. If that makes sense.
Oh, you edited it together.
Yeah, I just use
Editor.
ChatGPT to generate the images. Like I looked up like a certain image like on Google, and then I would like copy and paste it in there and be like, hey, make this in the style of like Grand Theft Auto cover art, and it would generate those each individual image.
The hippo goes hard. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
lie. I like the hippo.
You know what I got that from? Because like in the GTA 5, it has like the dog like barking. So I thought I gotta show the hippo from Pablo's from Pablo's Hacienda Nápoles.
God bless you, buddy. You try. You really do.
And then I
You go for it
also
in this life.
this one's not as good, but like I tried.
What is like what compels you to do that? Like what? Why?
Because at work, I want to do shit like this. Like
What do you even do now? You don't even cut. What do you cut glass? What the fuck do you even do now?
no, I do the estimates for people cutting the glass. If that makes sense.
Interesting.
So I'm basically just an average office bro.
What did you quit your painting job?
I just needed more money, and
Fair.
plus I know the owner. Like he's like he's one of the parents at the high school I went to. So like it's like a community thing.
Well, it's the only compelling thing to do in America is make more money. So I applaud you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Gotta pay for this new place and then potentially a new child into the world. You haven't no?
As far as we can tell,
Best we can tell.
well, because I think at this point there would have already been signs, and there's no signs. So we'll see. We'll probably have to go to the doctor, but there will be eventually.
God, dude. You're fucking what are you 22?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, bro.
You're like, dude, on the statistics thing, you would have been like a redneck, dude.
Fuck, dude, I'm not even I'm almost fucking 30 and I'm like, I don't want to get married yet. Fuck. Imagine having if you have a fucking kid at 22, that's hilarious. You fathering a child is funny to me for some reason.
Why
You just
you're like imagining me,
I'm imagining you like you're just like in Walmart with some fucking kid you're just carrying for no reason.
or
You're
like
just
I'm
fucking
like
standing there
teaching
aimlessly.
him how to like play the accordion, or like I'm showing him how to like
See,
make
that's what I'm
shit.
saying. You just make it do some dumb shit like that. Make your fucking kid play the accordion.
My kid's gonna be gender neutral, dude.
By the time you have a kid, you have no fucking idea what it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
that's true.
You better love it and accept it for itself.
So to go back to the first point we were talking about the different alcohol genetics, I have the Jewish alcohol genetics, and the Jewish alcohol genetics is the best alcohol genetics you could possibly ask for, hands down.
Because you're frugal.
Yeah, you're frugal, like you enjoy it when you have it, you don't rely on it, and like you don't really have like yeah, like you don't get addicted to it. Basically, is what it is. Like you just yeah, I think you spelled it out pretty well with like frugal. I mean, because that's what like Jewish culture is in general. But
Do they have a lot of instances in their holidays or celebrations that involve alcohol of any kind?
well, yeah, like in certain feast days, like you're actually like required to like get a little bit.
Required?
Yeah,
What do you mean required?
because like we're all like it's like a communal kind of thing. You know, like some cultures have that like with weed and
Oh,
stuff
it's
like
just
that.
socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Or you're just a fucking slur if you don't do it.
Well, yeah, yeah, like because you know how like in Jewish culture and also in like Catholic like Mediterranean culture, like it's common to like drink wine like every day. You
It's
know?
common to drink wine every day in Catholic culture.
Like, yeah, I
Like
mean,
a
look at
glass of wine?
well, yeah, I mean, not like a whole bottle, but yeah,
Well,
like
no shit,
have
bro.
a whole bottle. Well, because like the family like eats together, and you have a bottle for like the whole family for like dinner or whatever.
Where the fuck? What do you mean? How is that? Is that just colloquially passed down, or is it written somewhere? Like, what do you mean? It's like
Well, yeah,
you have to have.
it has roots in like the Jewish culture of well, yeah, because God gave us wine. Remember, like wine's talked about in the Old
Yeah, but they
Testament
never
because
said how to fucking drink it outside of communion.
no, but it's not it's connected to the community, but I mean like outside of like the liturgical life and just like common everyday life, like you're permitted to drink alcohol, you just can't get drunk if that makes sense. Like you can't get like
No,
blackout
I
drunk.
get you're permitted, but I'm just trying to figure out the cultural like pressure that you have to. Well, not you have to, but it's just like if you
Well,
don't,
that's just the
you're
Jewish
not
thing.
true.
It's not well. It's not like it's like they don't think of it like you're forced to. It's
No,
just
no, you're not forced to.
no, but think of it as in like in Catholic culture, alcohol is normal. Like it's not the forbidden fruit. You know what I mean? So like,
Besides like redneck Baptist bullshit, I don't know anyone that's like, oh, it's not normal to drink alcohol.
well, I
Unless
mean,
you're a fucking
well, like a lot of evangelicals think it's
Mormon.
like. yeah, or Mormons, like a lot of religious groups think like alcohol, like Muslims, they like
Mm.
like severely look down upon
They all
alcohol.
fucking do it.
No, I know they
No
do.
Muslim guy I know
No,
does
but
not drink alcohol.
no, but you know the Baptist.
Haram, all of you.
No, but you know the Baptist motherfuckers like in the South are probably the people that are like the biggest alcoholics, right? So
Yeah.
like, and you probably have this opinion with a lot of things where it's like if it's normal and it's not looked at as like taboo, then like maybe it's that's the reason why like Catholics and Jews don't really struggle. I mean, like you're Irish,
Fine. Is it
you don't.
like? Are you encouraged? Like, is it more?
In some contexts, yes. Like on feast days, you're encouraged to drink.
What is the Jewish drink of choice?
Mm, Jews drink mostly wine. I don't really
Okay.
know a context where I'm talking about religious Jews in this case. Like I don't really know of Jews drinking any other type of alcohol other than wine. But because like it's kind of because you know they come from the Mediterranean and that's like the culture and they have a huge tradition of that. But like with Catholics, they drink like all kinds. You know, like they'll drink like they'll drink beer, wine, and spirits.
Well, I know like in monasteries, the monks will make the wine. Like, that's like all
Hmm.
they do. Well, not all they do, but the majority of what they do.
Yeah, especially like beer, because like Germany like has a huge history of like the Saint Benedict
Yeah.
and all that. And well, actually, he wasn't
I said yeah, but I don't
German, but no, but so yeah, like the monasteries in like Germany and Italy and France have like a huge history of like brewing beer because you got to remember like monks like all they really ate was just like bread and vegetables. So like kind of like to make up the calories, they would just like drink a beer because you got to remember like it's easier to down liquid calories than you know like
I'm
mass
American.
calories.
I'm aware.
That's actually a good point. Thank you for that.
Americans know liquid calories. That doesn't
Are
matter
we
where you are.
actually are we the biggest are we the most guilty in liquid calories?
I would assume so. We're the most guilty in any gluttonous thing.
That is
Porn,
yeah, porn,
guns,
drugs,
drugs, alcohol, food, mental
sex and
illness,
rock and
sex,
roll.
everything, dude. We don't do anything in moderation.
Well, because I feel like America is just like the land of extremes. Like you'll have like the most like hedonistic, like gross,
Yeah.
like Scott Southerner type dude,
Fucking Bucky's, bro.
and then you'll
All
have
beef
like,
jerky.
and then you'll have like the like super extreme like entrepreneur, like everything like super sharp tight, like a Joe Rogan type dude, or like an Elon Musk, like this like this crazy efficient like pioneership or whatever. Or then you'll have like the crazy like religious like super strict like you can't even like have sex like Amish type people. Like America is just the land of like extremes in every category, if that makes sense. You know what I
I
mean?
agree. I mean, that's the one thing that when people that aren't from here, when they visit here for the first time, it's just they're shocked at the size of everything, the size of
Yeah,
the
that's what.
fucking car, the size of the people, the size of the roads, the size of your portions at restaurants, everything.
Yeah, that's what Arnold Schwarzenegger said. He said like he was like everything was just bigger in America,
Hmm.
and that's just really true.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, I know they say everything's bigger in Texas, but I mean that's true of like most of America.
Yeah.
You know, you're like yeah,
Yeah, dude. We're fucking.
you're
We're,
like Kurt Cobain right now, like yeah.
well, I don't want to be like Kurt Cobain right now when I'm drunk, because I don't just want to.
No, but
I make a joke all the time. Just gonna fucking Cobain myself every time. I mean,
you,
I'm gonna Courtney Love myself.
for a high school like music project or some shit, like we had to do a report on like a contempt like a recent to contemporary band, and we chose Nirvana because we had three people in our group, and you had to come in dressed up as the band, and then I dressed up as Kurt Cobain, and then someone brought their like dad's like rifle or some shit, so I could
Into
like
school?
no, it was like a pretend like he just like had it in his backpack or
Oh
something, just
shit,
so that
dude.
I could like
Post
act
Columbine.
act out like
That's
yeah,
crazy.
so I could act it out in my head and like in front of the thing. And like I pulled it up initially when the teacher wasn't looking, and then like when he looked, I put it because you can't really get away.
Oh fuck, dude.
Yep.
I'm glad I never had to do any stupid shit like that in school. Most of the time it was just reports. I never had to act out anything because I would have
Like
taken an F.
you never had like a speech class or anything like that?
Not until college. Like not
Really? Because like
no.
I had a speech class I think in I think it was maybe it was different because I went to private school.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that bullshit.
I don't need that
I
education.
don't need that not eugenics, was it?
Euthanasia?
No, that what? You learned
There's a lot of
euthanasia
things.
in school?
No, I didn't learn euthanasia at Catholic school because that's very anti-Catholic. Like,
That
top me
was
off, brother man.
oh shit.
And I need to
No,
get
it's
my license.
bioethics this way. I learned fucking
What is
bioethics.
bioethics?
You know some Catholic shit?
I'm
Bioethics.
I'm
Did I
not
just pull that out of my ass?
maybe I
No,
no, because that sounds familiar. I know you are, but like that sounds kind of familiar, but
you
I'm
know
not.
I am.
Because you just said you are. What do you want?
No, I know I've heard Catholic people talk about bioethics. It's about like abortion or some shit.
Oh, I mean, I'm just not familiar with the term.
Bioethics is the interdisciplinary study of moral and ethical issues that arise in the life sciences and healthcare. Yeah, so it's like abortion shit. Or it's like if you don't like if you fuck a bitch without a condom, then you're automatically gonna go to hell or die or some shit or get AIDS.
Well,
So like,
there's nothing in Catholic teaching that says you're automatically going to go to hell.
no, I know I'm being hyperbolic, but wait, I can't even fucking hear you. You're in the kitchen.
I'm sorry.
You can't. Oh my God, no one can hear you from this. There's a wall in front of you, Will.
Shit.
D- For all you guys, did you pass or fail bioethics in high school? I got kicked out of health class. I couldn't even stand looking at a picture of someone with herpes. It was kind of funny.
Thankfully, I never had to look at that. I
They never
remember.
showed you that shit. They didn't scare you with the diseases of the flesh, of the loins.
No, it's actually funny. Like in Catholic school, like we didn't. I mean, we have sex education, but it's not like the same thing. If that
Well, they
makes
told you
sense.
not to do it. What is not what is the difference?
Oh yeah, like the well, because you have a health class, right?
Yes.
And you know how like a lot of times like the sex ed and the health class is kind of like the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah, like for us, like we didn't. It was kind of like it was taught in like religion class, all like the sex ed stuff. So like, I remember what we did have though is we had maybe you had to do this too, where we had to go to like we had to go to some place I couldn't remember what it was to like get the like anti-alcohol like the speech was like given to us by like a guy who like became like mentally handicapped because like he got in a car accident drinking alcohol in high school. And then they showed us all the videos of like the people like that get in like auto accidents.
Hell yeah, dude.
And like some of them actually like we thought they were like memes. And I felt so bad laughing at them, which I know I can't do that because that's really bad, and I'm sorry. But did
What
you
if
have
it's
anything
funny?
like that?
No, the only thing that we had was they always have these bullshit companies come in to, educate us about shit like that. And this one company, they brought like a Chuck E. Cheese style racing game terminal to like the auditorium, and they're basically like it's impossible to text and drive. It's the same thing as drunk driving.
There was racing in the damn
No,
Chuck
they
E.
brought like a
Cheese.
machine with a car and they had like a phone and they're
Oh,
like, all right, you're supposed to like text while you're driving. And then people are like, oh, this is a challenge. This is fun. And so instead of teaching them more like, oh, you can't text and drive, it's impossible. Like, oh, here's the thing to beat. Now I can get this. So everyone's trying to see like, oh yeah, how many paragraphs can I send off
all
before I
right.
crash into this old bitch on the sidewalk?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I probably text and drive literally every time I drive.
You do reckless shit. I feel like you low key do like really reckless shit, bro.
I'm secretly the
Fucking
bad boy.
drive. Fucking drive home on half a bottle of tequila. It's like
We have different alcohol
you're gonna
tolerances.
kill someone.
Don't tell me that.
Death is the end result of your charade. Charade. What the fuck?
Charade.
Charades.
Facade. Do you see Rango up there? You gotta watch Rango.
I've seen Rango. I cried at Rango when I was a kid.
We have to watch it again. No, dude, what? It's actually really intelligent.
Wait, I don't think I cried at Rango. That was a different movie. I do like Rango though.
No, Rango's good, dude.
Gotta control the water. That's how you run.
And if you control, he who controls the water controls everything, or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah.
And then Rango's like, "Gotta remember, Mayor, I'm the law in these parts."
You have a really autistic quality of quoting movies and shows. on
Yes, thanks for actually pointing that
on
out.
live too. I'm just staring at you like blankly.
No, do you think like because a lot of people think I do really good imitations of other people?
You did the Italian one really well.
I
That's a good.
swear on my life, D. Well, I heard someone That's like an imitation of Jay Dyer doing an imitation of Paulie.
See, you go
Of
too
like,
meta with this shit.
I'm
You
just.
go way too. You're too meta. You're too meta with your memes. You're too meta with your references.
Do you understand what meta means?
What? Tell me, what does meta mean?
Meta means like self. I don't.
I mean, you're too subversive. I'm
No.
sorry. I'll use an actual word. You're too
Sub.
subversive.
But like, what do you mean? I'm being serious. Like, what do you mean by subversive though?
Like you say shit that not a lot of people know what you're talking about, and then when you say it, it's just like it loses the impact that it has because you're two
Well,
layers deep
how the
behind.
fuck
You could have
else
just
would?
did an impression. You don't have to do an
No, but
impression of a guy doing an impression. No one's gonna know who
I'm
the fuck
just
that
pointing that
is.
out so that I don't get too much credit for what I'm doing. Because like I
But
got
it's an
that.
impression of an Italian. Who are you gonna give credit to for an
What
impression
the
of
hell
an
are you
Italian
talking
guy?
about right here,
Breaking my fucking balls, bro.
Adriana? Oh, that's the fun.
Yeah, that's why you mutter that.
Or like remember the fucking like the the scene where like he explains the whole thing with the gabagool
Yeah.
and how like his mom was like turned on when like his dad would bring that home.
For anyone born after 2000, we're talking about The Sopranos now.
Yeah, and so like his mom like really got off with the fact that like his dad would like bring home meat and that meant that like he like killed somebody or like did some fuck shit to get it.
That is a very Italian nightmare, I'm not gonna lie, to have like fever dreams and trauma about meat and your dad coming home.
Yeah, and then like he's with like the like the lady, like the therapist lady, and he's
Yeah.
like and she's explaining all this like that it's like a source of trauma. And he's like, you you got all that from a gabagool?
Dude, the writing of that show is so fucking incredible. I didn't realize the
No,
reason
it's really intelligent.
I put off watching it for the longest time because I thought it was just a stupid like mafia show, but I didn't realize it's basically a satire.
I wouldn't say it's a
Oh,
satire,
it's extremely satirical.
but no, there's parts of it that are kind of like it's a meta commentary on the genre and at the same time building on the genre, which is something that's really good about it. But also I think like it's kind of in a way like it's in a way Shakespearean because it's kind of got that like tragedy and it's like a character study and you get really into like the mind of the characters and like their motivations. That's like something I really like about it is like the characters are just really rich, like you could like the characters are so fleshed out and so well realized where like you can imagine like them in any setting. Like that's when you know that like a
Yeah.
story's really like written well is when like you could put the characters in any kind of scenario and you know exactly how they would be. And I think Sopranos is one of those shows. Who was your favorite character in The Sopranos?
I don't know. I go back and forth. I think probably Chris. Chris is
Really?
probably yeah, because like he's one of the, like, and this is almost true with all the characters. Because I was listening to an interview. I don't know if there's people talking about what the director said. Because like people were missing the point of the show and they were glorifying it too much. So he tried to ramp up all the horrible shit that they did successively throughout the seasons as it progressed. Because
Oh.
like when you look at them,
It,
all of them are charismatic, but then like when they do fucked up shit, it almost your brain almost doesn't compute it. You try to like make excuses for why they did what they did.
that's actually true. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you like almost every one of the
yeah,
characters.
all of them are good.
Even the bad characters, like I actually like Janice. I know a lot of people fucking hate Janice. I like Janice.
So those characters
I
are
just kind of sympathize with Janice.
I think those actors are really impressive when they can like when they can make themselves be so fucking irritating that you just want to strangle the fuck out of them when they come on screen, or
No,
you want to
the
skip the part.
the
That's impressive.
absolute like most prick piece of shit in the show is obviously Ralph.
Yeah.
I There was some points where like, I could not stand that guy.
That scene where he beat up that fucking hooker though, or the dancer, that's really funny.
Are you kidding me? That was like that made me hate him more. He was an asshole. That girl was like
Yeah, but
apparently.
you expected it from him. You wouldn't expect that from anyone else in the show,
Oh,
but you expected it
so
from
you're
him.
saying it was satisfying in the sense like it gave you reason to hate him more?
Well, not even read because
No, because he was like a Joffrey like
I don't watch
level
shows like that.
character.
I don't watch shows. That's an American thing to watch show like, oh, I support this guy or I hate this guy.
No,
I
but you
don't do
still have that in your head of like I like this guy, I want him to win.
yeah,
That's kind of like a
I
natural
guess.
thing,
Not at that
but
level though. I don't do it verbally out loud like some
no,
other
I
people do.
I
Like when
guess.
people
But
clap when they do something, like the hero does something triumphant in a movie. I hate that so
have you
much.
popped off at a movie or like a whole like or
What do you
anything?
hot like my gun?
No, no, like a pop off where you're like, like when
No,
you.
that's what I'm saying. I don't get that. I don't get that American with fucking
Because
bullshit.
you
No,
know
I
what
don't.
I popped off at
What?
is when fucking Pablo Escobar appeared, like he had his cameo in Narcos Mexico.
Oh, with
Do
the
you remember
hippos
that?
and shit and the
Yeah, I was like,
yeah. See, I don't do shit like that. I was like, oh, there he is.
yeah,
Like, whatever. Cool. It's a cameo.
fucking German when it comes to that.
No,
And it's
because
like
like because I know what the show's trying to do. It's supposed to invoke a sensational emotion, like, oh, that's the guy from the show that I really love, and he's here now. It's Star Wars does this shit all the time. That's why it's fucking lame.
no, I know that's a lame trope
It's a trope.
in like modern franchise shit, but I feel like in that moment they did it in a really dope way, and I was like
I feel like
really impressed by
if
it.
that's actually true, like if that actually happened, like it probably, I'm sure he to
Yeah,
some degree.
I don't think you ever met what's his name, Felix Gallardo. He
So
never,
then in that regard, it's fucking lame if it's not true. Then it's insane.
but it's a
Then it's purely a trope.
no, but sometimes a cool like that's a cool shit to do.
No, it's not. It's fucking lame. I think.
But it's like when they made that Spider-Man movie where like all three of like the Spider-Mans from like the different Spider-Man movies that no one ever thought would they would make a movie with them. They actually made a movie with them. Like that was cool. Where they're like, let's forget about this whole like canon bullshit. Let's just make a fucking cool movie. Like, do you remember what Spider-Man movie I'm talking about?
I lose track, but yes, where they're all three actors are in the same
Yeah,
thing.
I was like, that's pretty cool because like no one ever thought that was gonna be made because of the whole copyright and
What
the
do you?
whole canon or whatever. But they're like, all right, let's forget about this dumb
That's some
canon
nerd
stuff.
shit, though. I don't care. Like I don't care enough.
No, I
I
think
don't.
it's the nerd shit where the canon, like where they care too much about the canon. They're like, no, that's against the canon. We can't do that.
I think it's.
That's nerd shit to
I
me.
think it's cringe on both regards. I don't know. Like I value good storytelling, good
But I thought
characters.
there was good characters in that
I
and
don't
good.
remember. It's been forever. They all
Well,
blend
I
to
thought
me.
that was cool.
Yeah, they all
But
blend.
regardless, I think Ralph was easily the worst character in The Sopranos.
I think Polly was.
Are you kidding me? I thought Foley's my fucking favorite character.
Yeah, but like categorically, he was the worst out of all of them. The most fucked up shit was the most like pathetic.
He did the most fucked up shit.
Yeah, he was like. Also, he was just lame
He
too.
was the
Like,
most pathetic? What?
yes, he was. He had
Oh,
no sense of loyalty, and he also got shit on the entire series. No one respected him. He
people
was the fucking.
respected Paulie. What are
No,
you
he
talking about?
didn't. He was the
Tony's
punching bag.
captain.
No, that's only because like he was there. He was the poster child of like, okay, this guy is outrageous, so I'm gonna put him in the front line so he takes all the shit. He was the fall guy for everything, to the point where he tried to play both sides, and that's why fucking Johnny Sack didn't tell him his name to the other boss because he didn't actually respect him. Like,
I mean, I think he romanticized like the idea of playing both sides, but like he never truly did. I mean,
yeah, but he would have because he's an opportunist, but he wasn't a good one. He would steal money from his friend. Like he just fucked everyone over, and he got no respect. He was just a lame character. He was just
there's no,
funny. His only redeeming quality is that he said hilarious things.
well, I think I connect to Paulie more because of like
Why?
because of the Catholicism. Because like he's the
What?
no, because I think
Then you
he
should connect to fucking Carmela because she was the most
no,
Catholic out of
because
everyone in
that
that
was kind
show.
of like a facade and bullshit, and like that was
How? Out of everyone that pretended to be all righteous and Catholic, she was the only one that
no,
actually cared about that shit.
no. I think she was trying to be righteous and whatever too. But I think Polly was the only one who actually had like
How?
no, because throughout the show you can see that he's like a little more like superstitious and like people kind of make fun of him for it. You know, like because he has like all those like
Look at the scene
you know
where
what I mean, where he's at like where he's at like the whole like the meeting of like like the seance and all that.
yeah.
Right. No, and also like literally the Virgin
So
Mary,
fucking Italian and retarded, bro.
the Virgin Mary literally appears to him.
Hmm?
Remember that in like
No,
the second last episode, or like you remember that?
no.
Like he walks into the Bada Bing when it's like completely closed, and then he like goes, "Hmm." And he
Oh,
turns around and like the Mary's like right there.
yeah, but they do that throughout the entire show. They put that like fever dream, surreal like art form.
But not in that sense of like a very like
But that
that's
was
a very serious thing. No, I know I do see what you're saying
they
about
did.
like the surreal like dream kind of stuff, but like not like in a religious sense. You see what I'm saying? Like because Polly was like really the only one
How
who
does
like
that prove his conviction? Because everything he ever did was for the
because
wrong reasons.
no,
There's no
I
way.
know, but like Polly had to kind of like every other character in the show, it was just kind of cultural Catholicism, and they're all like, I think even Tony said some shit about like, yeah, I don't really believe, whatever, it's bullshit. But like, Polly was the only one who's like, hey, D, you know, there's just some stuff, you know, you It's just what you gotta do, you know.
How is that not cultural? You literally just said it. You just have to do it.
No,
That's
but
not conviction.
no, that's but like it's at least some sort of kind of like acknowledgement in some sense.
What?
Whereas like the
No,
other
it's not.
no, whereas the other
That's a fucking
characters
cop out. It's just like, oh, this is. It's literally cultural. If you have to do it just because it's what you got to do, and if you don't do it, then it's fucking weird. And you have to.
no, because like Paulie's because he gets the apparition of Mary, and then he also has the kind of like
That
he
still didn't change him though. He's still a piece of shit. He learned nothing.
no, but it's interesting because he's the only character that gets out of it. Everyone else dies.
Yeah, but that was luck. That wasn't like because he changed his
I
ways.
guess it's just the difference of like how like our paradigms, but I guess I can see what you're saying.
No, like I don't like you. It's hard because like you have to really like separate your moral compass from like watching entire show of charismatic people because like all of them like there's
No,
nothing.
but you have to understand like this is just how I interpret it through my lens. Like everyone has a worldview.
I'm not attacking your worldview. I'm just
No,
saying like.
I know you're not attacking my worldview, but like what I'm saying is just like when I view this through my eyes, this is what I see.
So you think out of everyone in The Sopranos, Paulie had the most Catholic conviction on that show?
I don't think so. When he had to make amends with his aunt and mom, and like he actually made a genuine like he actually made up with his mom and his aunt, even though like at first he was like initially like just disgusted at that, but then eventually you see he gets back with his who he thinks is his mom, but it's actually his aunt and all that.
You know what? I think I don't think I saw the last season.
Are you kidding?
I don't think so.
Fuck, dude, no, you
I
have to
thought I
watch
finished
it.
it.
You
Okay.
have to watch
And
it.
I'm like, what the fuck did that happen?
Fuck, I just spoiled it for you.
I don't care. Whatever. It's been out for 20 years.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I haven't seen the whole thing.
How did you watch? So you only watched 5 out of 6?
I think I watched only 5 seasons out of
Fuck, dude,
this.
we gotta watch 6 right now.
I was like, what bullshit? There's no way Paulie would do something. Okay, fine. Maybe he had a redemption arc in the last season. I missed that.
And you're like, wait, did I not fuck?
Whoops. My
Whoops.
whole life, I just argue from fallacy, so it's all I ever know.
Hey, T, this is stuff you can't do. You can't do that, T. What are you talking about?
I can't do an Italian accent. I can't.
I swear
I
on my
can't join in.
life, T. No, remember, what's so fucking funny is there's an episode in the 6th season where like Tony realizes like how Paulie just like laughs so much, and he's like, "Can Scott stop laughing?" And like there's a zoom in like on his mouth, and it's like,
I think my favorite thing is how they really rip on American Italians, and that's evident in their like the disgust of the Italians versus them.
well, yeah,
I love that so
like
fucking much.
they like watch like all
Ah,
like the gangster movies to like glorify their like facade of, but then like in reality they're like just like suburban like you know what I mean?
they're just low lifes. Like they go to Italy and they have no culture. It's like guys that fucking Paulie is using like New Jersey slang. He's like, yeah, can I get some pasta with gravy?
Can
Like
I get some?
gravy, tomato sauce. You don't fucking know that? What are you retarded?
Oh, he no understand what he was saying. Oh,
And then like he just hated, like he just felt like such an outsider in Italy. And he goes home. He's like, "How's you? Oh, I flew right at home."
but well, yeah, but in reality, like he looks at like the industrial like New Jersey, and he's like, yeah.
It's just like, bro,
But I think that's an interesting commentary on like diasporas in general, because you see like they're not Italian anymore, but then they're not really American. They're kind of just like their own
that
thing.
is an exclusively American thing, and I've talked about this probably at nauseum with a lot of people. But like
Mhm.
people that like they're from a different country, but they grew up here and their accent is American. Maybe I'll be generous. Maybe their parents are actually first generation, so you do have some connection.
There's people that like speak in that same New York accent that aren't Italian.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking
Okay.
about people that like from whatever country they're from, but they've
Mhm.
never been there. They have no connection to it. Like I said, being
But they
gen
still like they use it as like a crutch,
it's
kind of.
because they don't have a strong enough personality or self-identity, so they struggle. I don't. Never mind. This is the alcohol. I don't want to go on the subject. But the people that use cultural like they don't know how to navigate outside of their own culture, but they
Well,
can't identify with their own culture at all.
I think what it is like they don't recognize that they're Italian American, right? So like It's like a
What that
specific.
doesn't mean anything. That means nothing.
No. But Italian American is a specific subculture, right? And like I think, and like a lot of like at least now, as like the years have gone by, a lot of Italian Americans are like, yeah, we're not trying to at this point, we're not trying to be any like people in Italy, and we're not trying to say that we're like only American. We're just kind of our own thing, and I think that's cool because you can see how this is just how cultures over the years
No,
just
but they
evolve.
take an actually sophisticated culture and they bastardize and they water it down to like ghetto fucking Americanisms and
You
they
say that shit, but like you don't remember the difference between like northern and southern Italy. Like that shit is like night and day.
yeah, but it doesn't matter
But it's
where it's from.
no, but
They
like I
still
said,
northern or southern, they can still bastardize it to the American version.
no, they still
It's
do. But like I said, it's interesting because diasporas, when you study diasporas, what they do is they take the culture that was there when they left at the time and they bring it to wherever they were. So like Italians at the time of like in the turn of the century when the Italians were coming over in like southern Italy was that was the culture that they brought over, right? And it was preserved. It's like an interesting kind of like way of looking at like migration
yeah, but over
and
generations
cultures.
that got so fucking changed. It's like
Can you know, and
it's
then
not the
but
same.
that's just why I think it's just an interesting thing to study. Like, have you ever like looked at like demography and like
I,
migration and
I
culture?
wanted to do an anthropology degree when I
Mhm.
was in school. I don't know, I
That's one of my favorite
but like
subjects.
people emigrating to
It's one of
America,
my favorite subjects.
people emigrate, people emigrating to America. I've never given a fuck. Like the whole like Ellis Island immigrant shit. Like I've never cared.
Well, that's interesting. Well, because when you see like how I actually was on a stream with another YouTuber. I don't know if you've been watching those that I do. Jeem. We did a stream about like the different nations, so to speak, in America. Because like America's not one nation. That's bullshit.
Right.
But like how there's a difference between like okay, you got like the North and the South, but then you have like Ellis Island Americans, and then you have like the immigrant groups that were here before the Ellis Island period, like the Germans and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And then you have like the Southwest Americans that like were part of Mexico before America. And then you got Louisiana, which is its own fucking thing. I mean, I'm from Louisiana, I can attest to that. No, and I just think like it's interesting of like understanding just the world around you and like seeing like the cultures just for what they are. And I just think like it's just interesting to see like especially like in the way that like like the Italian Americans like pronounce certain words because that's like how it was pronounced in the dialect that was preserved from when their great grandfather whatever came over and like I just think that's fascinating.
Well, Italian just
But
sounds
the
funny in
gabagool,
general.
like well, because you know what gabagool actually is in standard Italian?
No,
It's capocollo, but in the Neapolitan language, it's gabagool
I mean,
because the C's become G's and the last vowel is cut off.
it's like with any language. Like it's always a culmination of different languages before it. Like Germanic tribes came together, raped England, and then we have English.
But you don't think that's interesting?
I think it's interesting. What I don't like is I don't like people that use it as a crutch. Like it's annoying the people that they go hard or like
Right.
honestly, there's no one worse than Irish and Italians. They're the
You mean
fucking
like
worst.
no, but yeah, I see what you're saying. So
Just
you're
the
saying
worst.
like people who like
They have a disconnect from the culture outside of America, but they try so hard to think that they actually identify with that culture.
so you're saying that like they use like people who use it as like a cope where like they
Yes.
don't actually have any substance
Yes.
as okay, in that case I agree with you,
Like
yeah.
it's all the bar flies. Like you in your local bar, you go in there and it's like on St. Patrick's Day and they're wearing like they have no they're just credulous people. Like they just believe stupid shit. Like they're the worst kind of
Well,
people.
it's just an
Have the
excuse to get
strongest cultural
drunk, yeah.
identity to a culture they can't even identify with. Truly, it's true. It's harsh, but it's true. They
But it's
can't
so
create
weird
things
because
outside of their own fucking just
it's like
ethos.
in my like autistic like brain, I can still use my sort of cognitive abilities to actually identify with certain aspects of Jewish culture without being like,
Yeah, but how many times have you went to a synagogue and fucking actually did this shit though? Because you're Catholic.
no,
Like you can't really
no,
their religion and their culture is kind of intertwined.
no, I understand that, but what I'm saying is like the difference between me and those kind of people is like I can actually kind of look at it from like an objective, like, okay, these are the characteristics of these people. These are characteristics of these people. This is my anecdotal experience with my family, who is this and that and whatever in between. And I can see and I can evaluate kind of rationally, like, huh, this is how this trait was kind of given to me and whatever have you, without sort of like overemphasizing some like whoa, like I'm the descendant of fucking like William Shakespeare or whatever. You know what I'm getting at?
No, I mean, to me, it sounds like you just look at it as like a genetic, interesting sort of like parts of yourself, or like the way that you look too.
Certainly, that's part of it. Yeah, I think
I
that's very
honestly think it's more
fascinating.
interesting, like for your lineage of like the way you actually look. Like you can have like one,
Really, as
yeah,
opposed to actual cultural traits.
yeah, because
Really?
that's more of a
Why?
tangible. I mean, obviously it's all kind of tangible, but that's the more definitive science. Like you can inherit because like for example, like my family, like on my dad's side, like a lot of times like because like it's German and Mexican, right? So like my uncles, some of them look white and then some look really Mexican. Like my dad's like the whitest looking guy out of my family.
Really?
That's why I don't look. I just look strictly
You're
fucking.
like, no, I reject my.
But that's what I'm saying is like when you like mix different races and cultures together, when you have children, like some of your children will inherit specific traits. Or I read some cringy shit about like when black and white people have babies, and then sometimes they'll have like standard mixed kids, like curly hair, kind of like
Right, like
lighter.
light skinned dudes.
Yeah, or like you can have someone that almost looks blonde, like Logic, like the rapper Logic. The guy looks white, but he's biracial down
Isn't
the
his
end.
like dad black or something?
I don't fuck something, but like
Yeah, like he's half black, half white.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they're like it's not going to be like clear cut every time. That's more interesting to me is like like how people look and what their lineage is as opposed to like what they culturally identify with, unless like they moved
No,
around
well,
all the time.
I'm not talking about like what they identify with. I'm talking about like what actually is the sort of like day to day culture of the person.
Yeah, but most of them are just American. Like I said, unless they're first generation and
Oh,
they have parents that are
but
like that, they're just standard fucking Americans. They pretend to be more cultured than they are
no, that is
of
what
other culture.
that is true. But like I said, there really is no like standard American. Like there's because America is like literally 11 different like
Well, it
nations
depends
in
on the
one.
region you're in.
Well,
Like
because I
this is a
think
weird
like
case here because there's so many other people from everywhere here.
yeah,
Like no,
most of the people in Northern Virginia are not from
they're
Northern
not from
Virginia.
here. They
Yeah,
just move here for government and tech and shit. So this is kind of a weird example. I actually I like that. I like the melting pot of different people. I enjoy that. I don't want to be in
no,
this.
and you get the people that have been here for like they've grew up here, their family's been here for generations. Like that's interesting too.
Yeah.
Like like the old Virginia kind of thing. Like Virginia is a cool state. Like I was talking to my friend, and we were talking about like states where like you could only live in that state and never visit any other state and live life to its fullest. I think Virginia is one of those states.
You have every scenery you want, rural or urban, beach,
Beach, mountains.
mountains, everything, bro.
Yeah. I think other states that fall in that category is like I think California is one of those states.
California.
I would
A lot of
say
the East Coast is like that.
like the Eastern Seaboard,
Yeah.
like New York State.
Well, yeah, just the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic. Southern, you don't really, unless you're like you have to go more inland because the Appalachian kind of trails west to south more you go.
I mean, in the South, I feel like I'm trying to think
But
because
you have beach and urban and rural, but you don't have mountains
I mean
like in Florida.
Louisiana, you don't have Mount. I mean, I think Louisiana is an interesting case because it has stuff that's like not in any other part of the country.
Like
Like
what?
like in South Louisiana, like Cajun country and the swamp, and well, I mean, I know other parts of the country have swamp, but it's just like more so for like the culture. Land, Louisiana is just like 100% like swamp,
Yeah.
but I think Virginia is interesting because you get the kind of swampy stuff, but then you also get like the mountains and you get the beaches
That's what I'm saying. You get
and
every
you get all four seasons.
all
No,
four seasons.
yeah, that's why I think Virginia actually probably more so than California has just like
California's nicer weather though. Like I do appreciate four seasons, but we don't have as like our harsh climate sometimes, like the humidity in the summer and the fucking like extreme cold in the winter
but I think
sometimes.
when you take into the context of like living life to its fullest and like you can never visit any other state in that sense, do you think Virginia might win?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're well versed. Like
And you
you're kind
have
of a
like
slave to your geography. So the fact that we have more of it, you know, you have to do a little
but
more
Virginia's
around.
big. I mean,
It
you
is
get
a big
like
state.
you get the valley that we live in right now, and then you get like
We don't live in a vat. We're not close to the valley.
no, but in the sense of like the we're like east of the Blue Ridge Mountains and like west of the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're not
Right,
landlocked.
right, so you have that, and like you can visit the coastal areas, and then you can go like I mean, you go to the Blue Ridge Mountains. You could go like dude, like have you ever been like north of Winchester?
I've been everywhere. Yes, I have.
You know what I'm talking about? Like north of Winchester is like a it's fucking beautiful.
Dude, it's nothing. It's like postcard. Like if you get like Land O'Lakes or some butter shit from the store, and it's just like nothing but pastures and hills and rolling valleys and the sun
But the mountains,
beaming.
though,
I know it's
like
beautiful. I
I
know.
remember I went on a hike
I know.
in the youth group. They have like some Egyptians, I think, own like it's like they're like the Coptic Christians. They own a retreat house over in it's called Hunting Ridge, Virginia. It's like directly north of Winchester
Okay.
by the border with West Virginia.
Yeah.
And so we went on a hike, I remember. This was like 2 years ago or something like that. And I remember just that it was so misty and you had the sky which was clouded and it was slightly raining, but it wasn't truly raining and
Mm.
just that like mist and like the cool air and just the you saw the leaves had this rich red color like it was so beautiful.
No,
And
it's
I
really a
remember you
place of
could literally
reflections.
yeah, and you could literally throw a football and it was like right in West Virginia. Like that just that whole like the Blue Ridge mountain range is just incredible.
That's the one thing people forget is that like America is such a beautiful landscape and just being ruined by strip malls and data centers and
I know, I
fucking
think
ugly
that's
ass townhouses. Like it's a we live in a beautiful state. Well,
no,
west of here, really.
yeah, but even east, like in the eastern United States, I think is still beautiful. Like
No, I'm
with
saying
the
the western part of the state.
oh, I thought you were talking about the western United
No, no.
States.
Well, yeah, but
That's like
that's
another
beautiful too.
level of like
Like
beautiful.
Colorado, fucking get
Yeah,
out.
like the Grand Canyon, like
Ah,
Utah, like
fuck yeah.
even like dude, like the whole like that like four state area. That shit is like unbelievable. No, because I think like natural beauty, America like might win, and then maybe like Argentina,
Hmm.
and then like
I mean, there's a lot of beautiful places on Earth, but we people forget how much like serenity there is here.
no, because I feel yeah, like because like we're just so used to like the urban, which like the urban doesn't have to be ugly, by the way. Because obviously, if you go to like Europe, the architecture is beautiful.
Okay,
But
but
like,
architect. Well, I guess DC is kind of a like DC
it has some cool
has some
architecture.
cool architecture.
Like I kind of like the Greco like revival,
Yeah,
like
some
the
of
Greek revival kind of
yeah.
stuff, and then like the actual like the kind of classic like DC townhouse kind of aesthetic, with like those cone shapes
The
in the front.
roadhouses, yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
kind of cool looking, and it's unique. Yeah,
Richmond's like that too. It has a lot of like old historic row houses and old neighborhoods. It's this good like when you're going trick or treating, it's like a good trick or treating neighborhood. You know what
really.
I mean? Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been to Richmond. I can't remember the last time I
It's
went.
kind of a really there's a lot of artsy people go down there, a lot of annoying, quirky people. A lot of it
Like punk
is
rocker type deal.
kinda, but
Okay.
it's kind of a cool aesthetic. The food's really good there, and there's a lot of cool landscapes, and there's a lot of stuff to do there. Like you'll never be bored in Richmond for sure. Because here, like,
Well, what
if
about
what
cities where you could never visit another city and you live life to its fullest? What's a city like that?
honestly, I'm gonna hate that I'm gonna say this, but Los Angeles.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably gonna say LA.
Yeah.
No, dude, I've been to LA once when I was like 4 years old.
Like
But
it's the
I
post
want to go back, man. Like
it's the epicenter of like hedonistic fake bullshit.
no, no,
But
yeah,
like
yeah, no, I
it's
was gonna say
there's
like to me, like LA is like the peak like boomer like LA like the
I don't
seven
think boomer when I think LA. It's
really
no,
because like
I don't think
when I think LA I think like the boomer like Jimmy Buffett like paradise like rock and roll like
no, that's a Los Angeles far gone. That's not even relevant anymore.
what I'm
That
just
LA.
well when I think of a city I tend to think of it like
No,
in all
because
time periods but
it almost reminds me of DC, but it has like more beautiful landscapes closer to because like
and the palm trees
it
man that shit looks
like obviously
beautiful.
like it's expensive. It's really shitty. There's a lot of home like there's a lot of things wrong just politically with that state. And I don't give a fuck. I don't vote. But just like you
Well
can
I know what you mean by
yeah,
politically
like it's
yeah
just it's a fucked up place to be, but like my God, like the culture there and like there's just so much shit to do. I kind of most Americans won't agree with me, but like because we need to fix our public transport, we have to have more of it.
do they have a lot of public transport there?
No, it's spread out. That's what I'm saying. Like if you don't own a
Oh,
car in Los Angeles,
yeah,
you're
no.
fucked.
What the fuck
But
am I
I like
saying? Yeah, I was gonna say that's like
so
the
what do you mean?
worst. That's like they
What do
spend like
you
the most hours driving. What the fuck am I
Yeah, they're
saying?
fucked. Everything's so far. But I like that. I like driving. I like kind of being able to be
Well,
autonomous in that way. Besides the
granted,
traffic.
granted, I was gonna say like, isn't like a lot of the shit you see kind of nice looking?
Most of it is, and like if you go
Okay.
like, I mean, but I'm used to it here. Like it's just a fact of life that things are getting so expensive in this country that there's just going to be more shitty. Like it's just how it is.
Yeah.
But no, like Los. as much as I can't stand that like lifestyle and that mentality and that
Like the
fake shit, all
influencer.
that bullshit. Because like again, it's like with here, it's like the worst people move there, just like the worst people move here for opportunities. But like the actual
Yeah.
area and the stuff you can do, and just like
But also
you can.
LA like has a huge, especially for me, this matters to me. LA has a huge history with Catholicism because you gotta remember like all like the California coast that was like all like Spanish like missions. You remember, like from like the
Yeah,
monks. So like there's a lot of like cool history there, and also I know everyone rags on LA like the everything looks ugly, but like
I've never heard anyone say anything looks ugly. No,
they actually have like some really cool stuff. They have like the neo like missionary style of like houses.
that's what my point.
It has
There's
it's
so much.
rich stuff. It's diverse.
There's
Yeah.
so much different shit you can. It's not a monolith. People always assume LA is a monolith, but it's not. The areas around it
Really?
is no, it's
People
not.
think that LA's a month.
Well, because like it's so, like the whole area of like Hollywood and like luxury and beach, like
I
it's
mean,
very.
in a sense, but like I
But
feel
there's
like
so much.
I just want to go back, man. Because like I
I
said,
enjoyed it.
the last time I was there, I was 4 years old.
California is a cool vibe. I could because like it's the weather. It is like I get it.
No,
I
that's
I
the
can only
state.
I might be able to live there if I didn't have to worry about money, but like
Right, right.
I,
Oh no, yeah, like because I asked my best friend in New Orleans, Price, if you're listening to this, I asked him, where would you live if you did not have to care about money ever again? He goes, oh, LA. I'm like, are you sure? He goes, oh yeah, dude, you can live in some place in the coast away from the homeless people and literally live in paradise. I'm like, that is true. No, or like, I don't know. Have you been to Louisiana yet? I know I've
I've
always
never
wanted
been.
to take you to New
We
Orleans,
got
but
to go to Mardi Gras, but I've never been.
I gotta take you. But dude, you also gotta visit Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge. And this is for my Louisiana viewers. I think Baton Rouge is incredibly underrated. I know everyone writes it off as like, oh, it's just a chill for LSU and all that stuff. No, but I think Baton Rouge has a vibe that's kind of cool and it's really relaxing. But also specifically the neighborhood. This is maybe tainted, and I'm going to admit that, but it's because every time I visit Baton Rouge, I'm always in this really nice neighborhood that my grandparents live in. It's the LSU lakefront area.
Hmm.
It's literally like LA level paradise. It's so nice. Like it's just
Putting
so.
old money there.
I mean,
Plantation homes and shit on the lake property.
no, it's. I don't want to. I don't think it's old money. I think not that I think old money is necessarily bad,
Well,
even
what
though in
else
a
in
lot of
Louisiana
cases.
would not be old money? I feel like what industry there is
No,
fucking
no,
old?
but Louisiana, no, but like Baton Rouge was not really a developed city until like the fucking 90s, dude. Like
I don't know. I've never been there.
no, no, like no, dude. Baton Rouge, like before the 90s and shit, was just like a generic like state capital, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't until later that they actually like the neighborhood where my grandparents live. I think it's like a mix of old and new money. Like it's not a gated community, if that's what you were wondering.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm just
But no, it's just nice in the sense like it's just on a lakefront and the houses for the money you pay because you got to remember the property value is a lot less down there.
yeah.
So you can get a really sick house for like 500 600 grand.
Which is a shitty townhouse here for those wondering that. Oh, that I had this great opportunity to work for I don't know Raytheon or Lockheed Martin or some shit. No, don't come here. Fuck you.
Oh boy. And those people come here and it's like lonely. I'm
You're just gonna be surprised with gray buildings and traffic and fucking microbreweries that no one gives a fuck about.
about your fucking bullshit
You want to go
IPA.
axe throwing? Do that in fucking Chicago.
We've only been doing this for 58 minutes. It feels like fucking 4 hours. What the?
This is gonna be a
This
long fucking night. Oh my
it's
god.
really fucking. It's not even. I thought it was like midnight.
Wow.
But anyways, going back to like California. Have you ever been to like NorCal, like San Francisco and all that?
No,
'Cause, dude, I want to
I
go. I want to visit wine country,
I'd
like
be
Napa
too.
Valley
Or
and all that.
like the snowboarding and skiing there is good. Wine Valley, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
No,
Yeah.
dude,
Or
that's
the redwoods. What's the fuck is
the
that?
Redwood Forest.
Redwood Forest. Yeah.
No, I've been there, but
Yeah.
I want to go back, dude, because I
Fuck
know
yeah.
that's where the Return of the Jedi was filmed for Endor. I remember that
Yeah.
because like those, but I remember seeing. I actually have memories of a kid seeing those trees and just they're so fucking wide. Like the diameter is just like oh, you never been there?
I've never been. I've only ever been
Okay.
to San Diego, Anaheim, and Los Angeles. I've never been anywhere else in California.
I don't think I've ever been to San Diego.
San Diego's cool.
I was gonna say I heard
It,
San Diego's kind of nice.
I mean, but it's like with anywhere. It's nice and shitty in areas, but I don't know. I feel like California is. It kind of reminds me of here, just more, just not tropical, just more paradise because like it's very diverse. You can get a lot of different people. Like I enjoy that. I don't want to live like I can imagine like if I had to live my life growing up in fucking Nebraska or some bullshit like that. Corn and meth. That's
Well,
not
because
my.
there's only like so much you can do there.
I know.
Well, that's what
Fuck
I mean
that.
by living life to the fullest. Like, and you never can leave your state. I think Nebraska is probably like number one. Like, you're fucked.
I remember the day I had appreciation for living
I gotta get
here.
more tonic water.
The fucking day that I loved living here was having to drive across the Midwest. Fuck that. I don't know how y'all do that shit. Oh my God. Food there, atrocious. The people there, fucking terrible.
What
Like,
do they eat in the Midwest?
it's just fucking chains. It's just like there's no culture or substance or identity. Like, yeah, you'll
Oh, it's
have.
not like rooted like local
I will
food.
say, shout out to Champaign, Illinois. You guys have like fucking 10 Thai restaurants in a 2 mile radius. That's good as shit. It's like all the Asian shit there is good. But like everything else is like it just reminds me of just like the worst parts of America. Like we're fucking just when you think of like capitalistic, just like it's where capitalism goes to die.
Like an American wasteland
It's a wasteland of
where it's like
America.
all the typical brands. Like it's just a
Yeah.
theme park
It's like Crocs and camo shorts and fucking tie-dye shirts. That's the
and
Midwest.
like tattoo like
Fucking tap out shirts,
get like
Godsmack, and
big
fucking
gulp
Met.
fucking.
Oh, dude, it's literally like the worst parts
No,
of American stereotypes in one area.
honestly, like
It's the worst.
Indiana is like an American wasteland to me.
Everywhere, dude. Oh, let me. I mean,
Except like the northwestern part that like borders Chicago.
yeah,
That shit's actually kind of cool. I've been there, like Notre Dame.
dude.
Notre Dame is really fucking
It
nice.
sucks that Chicago gets a bad rap because Chicago also has like a lot of beautiful
Yeah, no,
architecture.
I was gonna
Like, it's a
say,
really cool laid out city.
I was
The
gonna
way
say,
that it
yeah,
is.
I was gonna say Chicago has kind of piqued my interest. I've been
Yeah,
enamored by it recently. Like I've
me
seen
too.
all of like the food they make there. Like it seems like a cool place to be.
To be fair, I'm kind of hypocritical about this because I usually always am just dissatisfied with the sensationalization of the media and how they're always projecting one narrative. So like the only thing I ever heard about Chicago was just like all the fucking gang shit and all the horrible shit that happens there,
Well,
which it
dude,
does happen, but like
well, dude.
obviously it's not the whole entire fucking city.
Dude, I'm from New
No,
Orleans.
yeah,
I can tell you hands on,
no, I know.
like
Trust-
just because you live in a city
I
that's
have the
so
hubris to
violent, like,
fucking.
well, I know you do, but I'm just kind of it's more for just for the podcast.
No,
It's for the podcast.
I got you. I got you.
Like it's just kind of like I remember being a kid and just kind of like growing up, seeing on the news, oh yeah, this dude got stabbed, and it's like,
Well,
yeah,
you can stab it anywhere. That's just more so
no, but
the
just seeing that repeat after like day after day, just seeing on the news, like just some bad shit happens, and just kind of coming to grips with that is like, yeah, I'm from New Orleans. And like,
I don't.
no, but also like, dude, can't wait for you to visit New Orleans. Like, I can't wait for you to see my people.
That's who you identify with New Orleanites.
Kind of New Orleans and well, Louisiana in general, because like
Where's your accent, brother?
my accent.
Yeah, where's your Cajun bullshit?
Shit.
That's what you chose to do. That's your showcase
That's
for.
what they say, dude.
Okay, I don't know.
But like, no, I feel like I can only really do the accent if like I'm around other people. Like if I was around my grandpa, I could probably talk in that accent.
You know what's weird? Because like I feel like sometimes I have a subtle one, but then other times I just have like a standard,
Not should have a
general
standard accent.
standard accent, right? But like again, like if I'm around family that have a thick Southern
Yeah,
accent, then it kind of comes out a little bit. But
yeah.
I can hear it in
I
some
was gonna
people.
say yeah.
I can't hear it in you a little bit though. I can't. I can't hear
If I was around my grandpa,
it.
you could definitely hear
Like
it, dude.
sometimes I'll round my O's like open instead of
Or
saying open.
you say like pen instead of pen.
Do you say wash and all?
I was like, what?
Gonna wash your hands with all?
Nope.
There you go. That's the telltale song. Oh, it's Appalachian. It's not. It's no. It's not the Leonardo DiCaprio. I will do with my property as I so desire.
Is he from the fucking Appalachian?
No, I was quoting Django. He's like a
Oh,
plantation owner from.
down here in the South. You gotta shake my hand. No,
Deal's not
those
done.
fucking accents were
I
great, dude.
love that
I
movie, dude.
love that shit.
He's got one more under his belt before he retires.
How fuck old is he right now?
Tarantino?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, he's I don't know, maybe close to 50, I guess. Late 40s.
Okay, isn't he
I
a
don't know.
PEDO?
That's I don't know.
Or he likes like
I
really
just assume
young,
every
like
A-list actor and celebrity is a pedophile, just like every high-ranking U.S. government official.
that's actually a probably good way of going about it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say who cares. I was gonna say like I don't
No,
glorify celebrities.
people
So I
can't
don't.
care.
If I saw it in real life, I'd care. I guess is what I'm saying.
But I guess what's
But Greg,
another
don't rape that kid. I've told you once before.
dude?
Not gonna say it again.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Like the billboard I saw in like North Carolina.
I would beat the shit out of you, but I
It's
have a
like
career to think
I
about.
was like, sexual assault is a crime. Don't
Heaven
be
or
that guy.
heaven or hell, where are you going? And then fucking fireworks and then adult store.
But like, what's another? Okay, so we've established that Virginia and California are two of the states that you could just exclusively be in those states for your whole life and never visit anything else and live life to the fullest.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Um
Some people would say New York State.
New York, so New York's again, I have such a conflicting thing about New York City because like there's so much stuff to do. There's a lot of culture, great food. You'll never
Yeah,
get
New
bored
York, I have a
there.
love-hate relationship.
I hate the people. The people always ruin the shit. But then again, like you can find the most sophisticated people in those kind of cities. Like you go to Nebraska, it's really hard to find someone that's sophisticated. Most people are going to be chill. Sometimes they'll be kind of.
Yeah, that's the benefits of a city is like because it's so metropolitan, you just get such like a wide like net of
I
people.
think it's worth this.
You
And
can find like anyone can go to New York, I think, and find something that they like. You know?
for absolutely, that's what I'm saying. It's worth sifting through. Like I think I've narrowed this down to a very concise point. When you go to places like L.A., New York, Chicago, as much as there's a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of terrible people, it's worth sifting through that to find someone in places that really speak to you.
What about
That's the
like
American dream.
what about like Boston? What do you think about Boston? Because I'm actually
I don't know.
I have to go to Boston in a couple of weeks to
I
go to
don't.
my brother's bachelor party.
I don't know anything about Boston. All I know is that people in Boston are just retarded and racist, and their accents fucked. But I'm sure you can find good culture and good food and good. I don't know. It's like with everywhere. It's just funny to generalize, but I don't know anything about Boston.
I
I've
mean,
never been there.
I feel like the
What a more expansion of my earlier
wait,
point. The kind of people that
um
also gravitate towards these cities that are terrible. There's a lot of really great people that also gravitate towards those cities. So that's who you got to find is the people that because like you can find good people anywhere. You can find your twin fucking flame anywhere in the world, but then
your
they're gonna meet you
soulmate, man.
at a yeah, they're gonna meet you at a high metropolitan area more than a fucking.
They could meet you in Watertown, South Dakota.
That's impressive. You got to write a book if that's you. If that's
Well,
you,
I
fucking
mean,
publish that shit because that's a fucking
fucking like
trade a paperclip up to a house. That's that level of.
other than like Fargo,
I
what
love Fargo. That's
I've
great.
actually never even seen it,
You
even though
should.
I've
The
heard.
movie and the show. Actually, the first two seasons of Fargo were great. The rest was.
Okay,
But the movie and the
how
show,
many seasons are there?
I don't fucking know. But the
Okay,
first two was great.
I've heard from many people that I respect, like you and other people, that that's a movie I would like.
Fargo was great.
Okay, so other than Fargo, like what other literature takes place in fucking North Dakota?
Well, it's like
Like,
it's not really North Dakota. It's like a Minnesota North Dakota hybrid. I don't fucking know.
what? Because Fargo is like right on the border with
Yeah,
Minnesota,
it's
but it's the
it's
same similar culture of like the North Dakota and
yeah.
the
It's just the fucking
Minnesota.
accent, the goofiness, and the dark satire.
Well, the Coen brothers have an affinity for dark satire.
I know that's why I like their shit.
Like No Country for Old Men, you ever seen that shit?
Yeah,
I love that
hell
movie,
yeah,
dude.
dude, classic.
I don't agree with like the nihilistic kind of world that the movie portrays, but it does it in an interesting way that like I have to give it props for that.
I like nihilism. It's fun and entertainment value, but I don't personally believe it. Well, I don't. I don't know what I
You didn't
believe.
say you were not. You said you were
I'm
not a
not a fucking
nihilist.
nihilist.
Well, you said you're not really. You kind of you try to not subscribe to any like sort of ideology. You just try to be like, how do I view this?
I like to be open to like I feel like
Right. Yeah.
it's impossible to not subscribe to anything. You obviously you can't walk around as a blank fucking canvas
That's true. Yeah.
unless that's your not your inhibition, but your willingness to learn and be open minded and accepting things. I just like to take things that speak to me from everything. I don't like blankly support anything.
Right, yeah.
Which is like it's the thing where it's like, oh, if you don't stand for if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So it's like that's not what I'm saying.
I mean, I think you should stand for some things, but not in like the political sense.
No,
Like,
not arbitrarily. Like it should
right,
make sense for the context of
like
what you're fucking doing.
right, like I think like people should have like certain convictions, but like not in the, like the Fox News like
No, no, that's just rhetoric. That's
that's fake. Yeah,
any American any American activism or political identity is bullshit. Like you can't look. There's no way you can operate as an actual functioning, empathetic
because
human
it's all
being on
just.
that level.
I mean, it's all
You
just.
can't do it.
It's all fake.
Of course, it's all fake.
Because I think deep down, everyone wants something that's real. You know what I mean?
Is this the part of the alcohol where we're just like contemplating life?
We're just like,
You know what? Fuck all this material bullshit, dude. I just want to be an
let's
eagle.
go to California.
Let's go do peyote in a desert.
Why am I doing the
Learn
Batman accent?
learn empathy at 30.
No, honestly, is Texas one of those states where you could, in the same category, where you could never leave it and you'd live life to its fullest?
I wouldn't mind living in Texas. Honestly, dude, like
Because I'm actually not a fan of Texas.
where have you been?
Um, but when I say I'm not a fan of Texas, I'm referring to East Texas,
Like Houston and shit?
like the Texas cities. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm
yeah.
not talking about West Texas, like El Paso, like where it's basically just Mexico.
Southern cities are weird. It's very hard to have like I would say like Atlanta's kind of a
I fucking hate Atlanta so much, dude. Atlanta is retarded. And you're not gonna back me up on this, Atlanta, dude. Like you don't want to be in Atlanta,
why?
dude.
What's your problem with Atlanta?
No, it's
It's
just
like
like
we have to put a little bit more nuance here
it's
because
kind of
every
like
city has
right.
their bullshit.
No, but
What's your
like
problem with Atlanta? It has
it's
culture, it has liveliness, it has
no,
stuff
it
to do.
doesn't have culture.
What do you mean?
It's like they think they do, but like they really don't. Like, and
What does that mean?
it's not a like an old like rooted city like New Orleans or hell. As much crap as I give Miami, at least Miami's a little older. I
Miami's
mean,
old as fuck, dude.
no, but even in like the modern sense, it's still older than
Yeah,
fucking.
but Miami's way worse than Atlanta when it comes to modern and like modern hedonistic bullshit. Like
I'd rather fucking live in Miami than Atlanta. Miami's got more
I
culture.
will give you that. I'd
Like
fine.
fucking
I'll concede.
Atlanta?
I'll concede on that point. I'm sorry. I concede on that point. Fine. I don't know. It's still cool.
Yes,
Fine.
a thief. I stand corrected.
Yeah. Ah, we're not even an hour and a half. I feel
Hey,
like we
you know,
said it
just
was an hour like an hour ago.
hey, it felt like it was fucking 3 hours ago. What the hell are we doing right here?
I thought time flew by on alcohol. I guess it slows down.
Not like weed. Like I've noticed, like with weed, it kind of just like I'm not promoting fucking smoking weed because I know I've been vocal against that. But
Oh, that's hilarious. You've been vocal against that. I remember when I first met you, that was like your not your personality, but you did it all the time.
well, I never did it all the time, but I stopped and I repented of it. But
And how is it different than alcohol? I really don't understand. You're
well, we could talk about that.
lay it on me, big boy.
Well, so basically, there's a distinction between drinking alcohol and getting drunk, but there is no distinction between smoking weed and getting high, if that makes sense.
What?
I just spelled it out for you.
I don't. What do you? What?
There is a distinction between drinking alcohol and getting drunk, right? Drinking alcohol is not a sin, but getting drunk is. But with weed, there's no distinction between smoking weed and getting high. You know what
Because
I
you're
mean?
just high when you smoke. There's no in
Yeah,
between of being tipsy and drunk. Is that what you're saying?
kind of, yeah. Well, because I mean, think of it this way. I'll frame it this way. It's literally sorcery. Does that make sense?
We're getting drunk right now. You're doing sin right now.
Yeah, I
So
know.
what is the fucking? Who cares?
I mean,
You're not doing anything weird. If you
I
start getting
mean,
sexual, then I'm gonna then man,
I mean,
this might become a sin. We'll see how the night goes.
dude, we are not going sexual. What the fuck is this?
No, what I'm saying, what, who, like you're doing it, like if you can make that distinction, but it doesn't matter to you because you're willing to do this part of it.
I'm not
Um,
drunk right now.
yeah, but you're getting there.
No, but like,
What
well,
does it matter?
there's different levels. Like, you can't, you can't, go out with the intention of getting drunk. Does that make sense? Like,
You don't go out with the intention to murder someone. That might just be what happens at the end of the night. I don't see your point. It's just what you.
no, but like being drunk, like like
I don't understand your point right now.
so
No, for real though. What? I don't.
no, because like sometimes it might happen that like things, might get exaggerated, get out of hand, and that's a little different. But
You're more likely to go out of hand drunk than you are high. That's why I've never understood this Catholic like.
no, but
s-
like I'm not drunk right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have an easier capacity to get drunk. But like when you're high, you're just chilling. I don't get high. It makes me go into a panic attack. I don't smoke weed, but
No, but
just the concept of it is better than being drunk.
no, but it's literally sorcery. Use like it opens up your faculties to the demonic world. Does that make sense? And alcohol does
What?
too, if you do it too much.
What the
Does that make
fuck are you
sense?
talking about? Are you talking about like our human desire to do stupid shit that opens the demons to make it easier us to sin? I don't know. What do you mean?
I'll put it this
You're
way.
both you're both inhibiting your fucking senses with either
Yes,
weed or
alcohol
alcohol.
if you do it to excess, but weed, just from the get-go, immediately exposes your faculties to the demonic world. Does that make sense?
No, I don't understand. Because like do more you will do more demonic shit. I understand the difference of just drinking alcohol Catholically and then just getting drunk. I get there's a distinguish between
Okay.
the two.
Yeah.
But like if you're high, I don't see how you do demonic shit when you're high. Because like when you're drunk, you can beat someone up. You can drunk and
No,
drive
no,
and
no.
kill
It's
someone.
it's
You
it's
can
it's
fucking
it's it's
that's
it,
more demonic shit than you just
no.
chilling
I
eating
I see
fucking
what you're
Fritos.
saying, but you have to think of it. It's not just of like how does this affect like me or other people. That's not really what it's about. It's just does this open up my rational faculties to the no no no
Okay, I'm sorry.
just listen.
This is limiting my faculties
I
to
know it.
understand what you're
Well,
saying.
exactly.
Which
I,
is,
I
I
I
think if
know.
I was high, I'd be more open minded. Like, you know what? What are you talking? Yeah,
No.
what? What?
Hey T.
This is making me more like, what the fuck are you talking
Hey
about,
T. You
bro?
get the Roku gin with the project. I mean some bullshit. I don't know what the.
I'm drinking some Jap liquor and
No,
listening
but
talking about
so
demons entering my weed brain.
no. So the thing is, like, it literally allowed like actually I'll give it to you in the way that somebody explained to me, which I think really makes sense. There's actually in the Catholic view positives of smoking weed. Did you ever think about that?
I never
Because,
thought about it, period.
well, fair
Not gonna
enough.
lie to you, brother.
Fair enough, because you're not as autistic as me.
That's, yeah,
But
that's understandable.
so alcohol, sorry, not alcohol, fucking weed. Weed, what it does is it exposes you to the spiritual realm. And so in the spiritual realm,
Of what proof?
just bear with me.
Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm
You gotta
trying. I'm
let go of
trying.
this skepticism.
I'm
Just,
open
just,
minded
just,
when
just
I'm
listen.
sober. I'm open
Listen.
minded when I'm sober.
I know you are, but you gotta fucking
Fuck, this
be
is
when you're
so
drunk.
hard. So
Okay.
hard.
So when you smoke weed,
Hmm.
you open yourself up to the spiritual realm,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And there's a lot of good shit in the spiritual realm
Okay. Are
because
you talking about like Christian spiritual realm or like?
I'm talking about the spiritual realm.
Okay.
You know why there's a bunch of good shit there?
Why?
Because the angels dwell there.
Okay.
And you know who else dwells there? The demons.
Okay.
So when you smoke weed, you're probably going to get a bunch of good shit from the angels because the angels are having a great time in the spiritual realm. But you run the risk of coming across the demons. Does that make sense? That's how
In
it's sorcery
in what way?
because you have opened yourself up to the spiritual realm.
You
And
said that,
in
but
the
like,
spiritual
what's the
realm
demon side of this?
dwells
Yeah, but
the angels and the demons.
what's the spiritual side of the demons that you're getting when you smoke weed? What is
To
that?
give you temptations of like, oh,
Of like food?
no, that's no. Good guess.
Taco Bell.
That's not what I'm
Harass
getting
the
at.
Taco Bell waitress because she's kind of hot, but also like you
That's
work
not
at
what I'm
Taco
getting at.
Bell, so it doesn't advance your career. Your parents will make fun of you if you fuck the Taco Bell girl.
Good guess, but that's not what I'm getting at.
Fuck.
It gets you like, do you understand just the principle of
No,
it? I didn't even explain what the principle was yet.
I don't understand the basic fundamentals. I'm not gonna understand the principle.
Well, do you
Yeah,
understand?
like I get the idea of like if you do a substance that alters your state of consciousness, you open yourself up to do shit that you wouldn't do sober, good or bad. I don't see why it's different from alcohol. Why are you not inhibiting the spiritual realm when you're drinking alcohol and you're drunk versus when you're high
No,
from
and
weed?
I would understand how you would feel that, but you must understand there is restrictions to drinking alcohol, like
I get that, but
because there's
why
just
is
there's a
weed?
distinction between drinking alcohol and getting drunk.
Yes, I understand. That makes sense to me.
Right, because getting drunk, like the Catholic Church teaches that you cannot take any substance that like diminishes your faculties of reason, right? Because if you drink way too much alcohol, your faculties of reason will diminish,
Okay,
right?
right.
And so that is a mortal sin,
Okay, makes sense.
right? And it's the same thing with weed. The problem is that the weed, like once you do it, you lose your faculties of reason. Does that make sense?
I don't
Because you have
understand how you
exposure.
lose your faculties of reason more than alcohol. Like tangibly, you have to admit that like
Well, when you
you
say,
do more fucked up shit on alcohol than you do on weed. Even your faculty of reason
well,
is
yeah,
compromised, right?
if you do
So
it to
how is weed worse than getting
well,
drunk?
right, and
I get
that's
that
it.
getting
No,
drunk is
no,
a
that's a
sin.
good question because you did it to excess. Because like
Yeah, but you
if
do.
you
I'm saying if you do both, like if you're high versus if you're drinking to excess, I get both of them are a mortal sin. Fucking whatever.
no, but it's not merely just whether or not you like what you do to other people. I mean that matters, but the matter is like are you exposing yourself to the spiritual realm, which is something that human beings
Who decided that?
should not
Who decided
see.
that weed like enters you into the spiritual realm and then alcohol doesn't? Like, what? Where is that distinction? That's what I'm not
I
getting.
mean,
What?
this has been written about for like millennia. I mean, dude, like
What?
obviously
What do
weed
you
has been
mean?
around since like
So is alcohol. They both have been
right.
around
So
for a
like
long
that's why
time.
like there's you don't think there's been like texts about like why like you can drink alcohol in moderation as opposed to like smoking cannabis? Like this has been around since like
I've always
forever.
thought that cannabis was like an American boogeyman. No one
I
else
mean
has
that's
got the
part of
stigma
it.
of them. Like no one has the stigma of cannabis. Like, but then also it's been
I mean, because you got to remember, like I don't necessarily think this should be illegal. Because I mean, I think there's bigger problems you should fucking deal with. But like,
what? Okay, so why? What I want to understand is why is it that when you smoke weed, and I feel like you're at a more chill space and you don't really do much, you're kind of docile, but when you drink alcohol, I feel like you have more of a demon inside of you that releases more of your bullshit onto you and the people around you, do
right?
more fucked up shit, which could be argued that is more influential to demon-esque. So why is it that when you smoke weed and you're just chilling, that opens you up to a spiritual realm more influential than when you get drunk and then do stupid fucking shit.
Because merely drinking alcohol does not open you up to the
What
spiritual
what
world.
does that mean though? What is like why I don't like
Well,
what
you know this very firsthand. Like, just having one drink of alcohol doesn't necessarily make you like
one
blackout
hit of
drunk.
weed won't make you fucking string out. Like I don't
No, but it'll alter
it's
your
moderation,
no,
brother.
no, but it's altering your mind in this like
So is this. My mind is ultra right now. My faculty of reason is more
no, I know it
retarded
is, but
than
you
when I'm sober.
no, I know it is, but that's why you use your faculties of reason to be like, okay, I'm done, right?
Yeah, it depends on the person you are though. You can get addicted to anything. Doesn't matter what it is.
No, I know, but like
Who you are matters. If you can like be a functioning not a functioning alcoholic, but if you can live your life where you can drink alcohol moderately and be fine, hold a job, hold a wife, whatever. I mean,
it just
same
makes
thing when you
sense to
smoke
you
weed.
like nothing in the created world is evil. So like I'm not like weed isn't evil
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to get the connection between why it's more like why that opens you more to a spiritual realm than
because
this does.
once you smoke it, you're already in there,
So
whereas
what?
opposed to because you're
But
in
you
there.
don't do anything. You're chill. Who cares?
You see shit that you're not really supposed to see. Does that make
It's
sense?
not hallucinogen. Hallucinogenic.
I know
What
it's
fucking
not, but does that make sense? Like,
no, it doesn't.
given how does that make sense?
Because when you, I don't, what do you mean see shit you're not supposed, what does that mean? See, like,
Because it opens your realm to like
you can't just keep
literally be
repeating the shit you said before. What does that mean?
no, because
What
this is what it
opens you to the
is.
spiritual realm when you smoke weed? What?
Weed.
That makes no sense. That makes no tangible sense.
And how so?
Because you look at
Dude, you don't
behavior.
even smoke weed and you're defending
I
weed.
have before. I don't like it. It sends me into a panic
Right.
attack, but I felt the feelings of being high. It's similar to the feelings of being drunk, except I feel like I have less motor control, but that's just me, period. Some people can Dude, I know people that literally can smoke like a ton of weed. Their tolerance is so high, and it just mellows them out. It doesn't
Right,
diminish their faculties of
but
reasoning.
I'm not talking about like how does this like when someone smokes it, how does it affect like I'm not talking about like in this like mean evil ugly corporate Republican man like
No, that's
ordering
not what I'm
that's
saying.
that's not what
I,
I'm getting at. Like I'm not just like arbitrarily banning things.
no,
It's
I
just
know.
like that what I'm saying is just like spiritually like you shouldn't do it
I don't understand why you shouldn't like. I feel like if
because
you
it opens up your faculties to the demonic world. I mean, how hard is that to understand?
no, it's not hard to like you because you said it. Fine, whatever. What does that look like? How does it like
I
what like
mean, you've done
when
it.
you
You know what it feels like.
no, I have a very adverse reaction to it just physically. Like I don't like doing it. But for someone that smoked
Oh yeah, that's
Like
different.
Snoop Dogg, for example, the motherfucker does this shit every fucking day. You think if he was an alcoholic, he could not drink the same as he smokes and survive and function and
Yeah, but that's another thing that maybe you haven't thought about is that like alcohol actually gives you natural reasons to not do it that
no,
much.
that's a fucking cop out. That's
No, it
it's a
fucking
poison. It's
does.
a fucking poison.
No,
It's a
what
neurotoxin. It
no,
kills your
because
fucking brain cells.
exactly. That's why I don't fucking do it every day to excess.
But
But
you
with
can
weed, I find that it doesn't give you any like physical pain. Literally, I would do that shit every day if I was doing it.
that doesn't like
Do you see what I'm
okay, fine.
saying?
So for the person that doesn't, because you can get addicted to anything, I get alcohol is more addictive than weed. That makes sense to me.
Right.
For someone that does it like on the weekends or whatever, they don't have to smoke it every fucking day. They just get high on the weekends and they're fine. They can function normally as a human being. How are they opening themselves up to the spiritual world negatively? I don't
Because
understand.
that's what it does.
What,
It's not about negatively or positively. It opens up your faculties to the spiritual
what
realm
does that actually do to you, though? What does it do? What is the negative effect opening yourself to the spiritual realm do
because
to you?
you're like treading on waters that human beings aren't supposed to do. Does
That's
that make
so
sense?
vague. I don't understand. Like, what isn't like when you say
All right,
you're
can you
treading on
leave
waters you're
this
not
like
supposed to
whole
do.
like skeptic like just like think about the actual words I'm saying.
I hear
I'm
what
not
you're
trying to
saying.
be an
No,
asshole. I'm just
no,
explaining.
we're chilling. I'm just saying. I'm just curious. I don't
We're
understand
fucking
what
chilling, man. We're fucking
you're.
chilling.
I'm just curious, bro. Hold on, I'm gonna open myself up to the American Japanese realm of killing my brain
This Roku
cells.
gin kind of hits different.
This is good.
For
I've never
reference,
tried.
guys, we're drinking Roku gin with tonic water.
I wanted Monkey 47, but they were out, so I've never tried.
There's no more of this shit. Damn it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fuck. Well, you're already drunk. Well, no, I don't know what the fuck you are. I'm already drunk, but like
I'm Jewish, is what
I can't taste alcohol when I'm drunk. It all tastes like water to me. I'm already
Really?
loose. Yeah, I'm already loose. I don't care. I'm not gonna. Oh, I see the. Let me see. I feel the hints of sakura flower, yuzu peel, sencha tea, and sancho pepper in my fucking gin that I'm
Central
tasting.
pepper. What the? No, that's why I love gin. Is like because it's
There's so
fucking.
many botanicals. It's very artistic. I
It's
like it.
botanical. It's like weed, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. This is a mixture of herbs and alcohol. This is canceling out my spiritual experience.
But can you discern the difference between being drunk and high? How
Yes,
it's
I prefer being drunk than I prefer being high.
okay,
Me personally. Some
right?
people feel the opposite. Some people can't handle their alcohol and they use weed to mellow out their fucking
Well, I've
mental
heard people say
problems.
that they'd rather use weed just because you don't get a hangover.
Well, that too. It's
Well,
less
it's
adverse effects on your physical body.
well that, but also I think it's also just stemmed from like a larger like just kind of like insecurity and like need for escapism. Would you agree with me with
But
that?
that's with everything. You can do that with anything.
Right, but like, and that's why I agree with you that like absolutely like because like when the church condones the drinking of alcohol, it's not like they're saying like this vice is okay and this one's
Well, no,
not. It's
it's
just
done to
don't make it
such
a
no,
vice, you know?
it's done to such a small amount. I'm not saying that like I'm not one of those people that like, oh, it's such a horrible thing. Like the church is not advocating you to be fucking drunk. I get that. It's
Yeah.
you do it as communion as a ritual. It's symbolic, and then you can just do it at dinner. It's
Well,
an
I
enhancer.
think
It's not like it's saying
yeah.
go party with your boys on the fucking strip. That's not what I
Well, I think
I don't view it in that. I
another
view it as a as
another way of framing it, I think, and I've explained this to my coworker if you're watching it, who is a frequent marijuana smoker, that um like alcohol has some sort of like we have more cultural barriers in place to enjoy alcohol, whereas weed, that's not necessarily there yet.
What do you mean? The whole thing is a giant barrier. It's literally have to be
Let
it
me
has to be
explain.
overturned from being illegal.
Let me explain. No,
Besides
no, no,
prohibition, alcohol has never been
no.
fucking
I'm not. Well, I'm talking about my culture, at least.
Catholicism.
Yes. So my culture, alcohol like is tolerated, and like there's cultural barriers in place to help you be disciplined at it, to help you to enjoy it in moderation,
Right.
right? Whereas weed, that's kind of something that we've never really had to deal with until now, right? So if there is some sort of sense to enjoy it in the right way, I'm open to that. But for now, we don't know what that
So
is.
you're saying in moderation in the cultural context of like you can enjoy it minimally like alcohol, then it's fine.
No, what I'm saying is we don't necessarily know if there is a way to enjoy it in a like culturally controlled context, but if there is, let's figure it out.
I don't understand why
But
it's that hard to do that
no, but
because
did you see what I'm saying?
no, because like you can do both easily if you're not an addicted person. Like you can enjoy alcohol and weed at the same time. Normally, if you do it in moderation, I don't see why it fucking affects your life that much. I feel like alcohol affects your life more if you're addicted
Because
to alcohol than
one,
addicted to weed.
because one, if you enjoy it in moderation, does not open up your faculties to the demonic world, as opposed to with another that does. Does that make sense? I know you don't like agree with like my
No,
worldview
I'm
of like the spiritual
I'm
realm,
trying to think about.
but like can you at least see that like my why I think the way I do? Does that make sense?
I mean, because you were taught it, I guess. But I'm just thinking of my anecdotal
No,
experience
no,
of
no.
people that I know that are addicted to weed and addicted to
It's
alcohol. The
not
people that are
about
addicted to
like
alcohol are way
whether or not,
worse.
and I would agree with you with that. But why? I'm not talking about whether or not I was taught this or not. Like, and you actually analyze the like arguments I'm making. Can you see how like why I believe what I believe?
No,
Well,
I
like
don't understand.
why do you?
They're both a substance that fucks you up if you don't do it in moderation. They're both the same to me. I think alcohol has more adverse effects on you physically if you get addicted to it than weed. I get like you it's like with everything. Like you can't eat this like a guy like I read a story about a guy that fucking ate like 10 pounds of licorice and he fucking died because he couldn't eat licorice in a moderate amount. You
Well,
can make the
right.
argument that that guy opened into the demonic world. The demons kept telling him to eat more fucking licorice because he's never satiated, and then he fucking died.
But you know what I mean
No,
about
I don't.
like
I really don't.
no, Jason,
You gotta do shit in moderation.
Jason,
That's all you gotta do, no
Jason.
matter what it is. Besides fentanyl, you can't do that in moderation. You're gonna die
Why can't you do that?
because it's so addictive and so potent. A little bit can kill you, maybe.
All right, but like you got to leave behind this whole like skepticism and like
It's
this.
not skepticism. It's just like it doesn't make sense
How does it not make sense?
because everyone that I know that's addicted to weed. Okay, let's not say addicted to weed. Everyone like the
Because
people.
a lot of those people would say it's not addictive.
But I don't agree
That
with that. You can get addicted to anything.
is very true.
Like there are, I do agree there are things than substances and whatever that are more addictive by nature. Like you go to a casino, they design those things, the games being the most addicting things ever
Well, yeah, every
psychologically.
fucking thing that human beings are like susceptible to do, like there's a fucking industry that it specializes in.
Right, and that's just the modern world that we live in. What I'm saying is that, like, if you're a person that has good reason, good faculties, and you're able to enjoy your vices, cigars, alcohol, weed, porn, fucking whatever, you're able to
But
enjoy that. I don't agree with porn, but I'm saying if you're able to do that in moderation, it literally has no effect on your life.
but if you enjoy it in moderation, it's not a vice. Does that make sense?
So then, how, if you enjoy weed in moderation, how is that a vice?
Because once you smoke weed, it opens yourself up to the
Yeah,
demonic
but people
world.
are
Does that
able
make
to do
sense?
it more than they are able to enjoy alcohol in
No,
moderation.
no. I'm not talking about like someone's abstract, like they can function, quote unquote, like whatever. I'm just talking about like, does it or does it not? And I know you're going to disagree with this. Does it or does it not expose your faculties to the demonic world?
Okay, I guess I have to ask you your anecdotal experience. Like when you
Uh,
smoke weed, like what do you think opens up to the demonic world in your fucking eyes? Because
well,
I've
but I must have you recall what I said earlier about the positives of it. 'Cause there's positives of it, not
No,
Like, there's nothing in the created world that God made that's evil. Because you gotta remember, God made weed too.
I get it. What's the negative effect? I'm asking for specifically about the negative effect.
Because,
What is
like
the
I
negative
said,
demonic effect of weed that happens to you if you felt it?
because, like I said, you're there in the spiritual realm where the angels dwell. And the angels are having a pretty lit time.
Fuck, dude.
Dude, just just listen to me,
Oh
Jason.
my God.
Trust me.
Fuck.
Trust me.
Okay, fine.
The angels are having a pretty great time,
Right.
right? And you're gonna experience a bunch of great things. I'm sure that when you smoke weed, and I've done it before, right? Like you feel kind of like just this bliss, right? That like all time is like halted, and you can see things like as they are and whatnot. And that's actually a positive thing about it, right? And it can help you to reflect and sort of, meditate and
Okay.
whatnot and be more grateful.
All
That's a
good
very
things.
great part about it, right? And it is great things, but there's the risk you run, just like when you drink excess alcohol, that you expose yourself to the other aspect of the spiritual world, which is the demons.
That's what I'm asking. What is that risk? What is that? What is the demon side of weed? What is
Because it is going to get you to think and do things that human beings should not do,
like what?
just like
Like
what
what?
it does with alcohol.
But what
How
is
do you
it?
not see the
I'm
difference?
because I'm asking what is that specific thing that it's getting you to negative? What is that?
I mean, it gets you to,
What is it?
like laziness. Like laziness is a sin. Did you ever think about that? You can't like
That's
sloth.
such a
That's one of the
that's
seven deadly sins.
that's such a vague fucking you can't even like.
No, but you know that sloth is one of the seven deadly sins, which I agree are like that's what I believe in.
I honestly feel like laziness is part of our modern life because we're so fucking burned out for shit. So it's like I don't want to
I
do anything.
agree with you, and like I know there's a lot of people that at first glance I would write off as lazy, but then at some point, I have to think in my head.
What do you consider lazy? Like you have to set some
No, no,
sort
no.
of
What
ground rule.
what I'm saying
Like
is
wasting a whole day doing just sitting on the couch. Like what
no.
is?
What I'm saying is there's people that at first glance I would think of as lazy, but then at a second thought I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's going on in their life. You know, God, please have mercy on them. I'll move on with my life. No, 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 that's true. And
Yeah,
I
I get
remember
it.
that's something you asked me of like, do I look down on other people?
Well, like,
And I
only
admitted,
God can judge. Yeah,
well, right,
yeah,
because I admitted, you
I
know
get it.
what?
I get it.
Yeah, that's something I actually had a problem with, and I still have. I mean, because we all struggle with problems.
I I fucking look down to whoever you want. I don't care. I'm just saying, like quantifiably, like
So you're like the South Park of.
no, I genuinely okay. I like I don't. How do I explain this? I think there's a difference between people that can look down on someone and feel like they're better than them, or looking down on their actions and being like, I've been there too. You have to realize this is not good for your life, and you can judge that upon other people, but you can't
Well, yeah,
like.
because actions are different than people.
I totally agree. But
Yeah, I
like
mean, the
when you
Pope has written about
but when you
this
say
like
like
for a
weed
long
makes
time.
people more complacent and lazy, I mean, I guess so. But like if
Well,
you're
no, that was just in like an anecdotal response to like what we are saying of like what like bad, quote unquote, whatever. Like that's assuming we know what the bad
I
is.
just don't understand the difference between because I get like the whole point is you're supposed to
No,
do shit
but
in moderation.
what I must tell you is
Why does I
there,
get here's my example.
but
Why does alcohol not open you up to the spiritual realm of demons when you're drunk?
it does though.
Okay, so they both do it. So
Yes, if you get
moderation is
drunk.
the key.
No, but what I'm going to tell you, Jason, is there is a distinction between drinking in moderation, where like you can feel the effects, but like are like, all right, like it doesn't like I said, and I know you don't like this answer, it doesn't expose you to the spiritual demonic realm. Whereas weed, once you do it, it does. Does that make sense? Like,
So am I not exposed right now being
well,
drunk?
I'm not you.
Well,
I don't
I
know
feel
what's
fine.
inside
I'm
your
chilling
mind.
right now. I'm good. Like
Right.
I don't
I'm
have
sure you
so
are.
then what the fuck? I don't think about it. It's fine.
Right. But the thing is, like, you can do that with alcohol. There's like a level of like, okay, what is accepted, what is not. But with weed, there isn't. Does that make sense?
No, it does not make
And how
sense.
does it not make sense?
Because I've been around people that are high and I've been around people that are drunk. If they somehow were to able to magically concur themselves and not concur, if they're able to if their mindset is opened up to the spiritual realm of demonic shit, most of that shit is destructive and negative. That's the connotation you
Well, right.
associate with
And what I'm
opening into
saying
that
is
realm.
like
I've seen
both
that in
being
people
drunk
that
and
drink.
high is bad.
No, I've seen that in people with alcohol. I've never seen that with people that are high. That's what my point is. Like this, and like people that are drunk, I would. What's a more compelling argument to me is people that are drunk opening themselves up more to the spiritual realm than people being high of demons. Because like
Well, yeah,
people
that's
do
what I'm
way
saying.
more
You
fucked up
can't be
shit on
drunk.
alcohol. I no,
Yes.
I get that,
And
but
that's
I'm saying
why I
no,
argue
no.
that's just as bad, if not worse.
I get it, but what I'm saying is like I feel
Right.
like it's worse to be drunk than it is to be high. If anything opens you up to the spiritual
Yeah,
realm
if
of
anything, I
demons,
would agree with
it's
you.
alcohol. But
Yeah,
what
I
the fuck?
fucking agree with you.
So then what does it matter?
But that's what I'm saying. Like with alcohol, over the centuries, we know how to enjoy it in the right amount. Whereas like
You're
weed,
telling me if you take
I'm
one hit of weed that you're more inhibited to the demon realm than you getting drunk on alcohol.
yes, I am saying that.
That's insane.
And you can believe that
That's
all you want.
insane, brother.
But what remember the other thing I told you is kind of moving away from the whole demonic world realm is that remember that the Catholic Church is open to if there is some sort of way of enjoying this substance because not everything in the creative like everything in the creative world is good because God made it. Like God made weed, dude. You gotta remember that. We believe that. We accept that. But we just haven't, at least up until this point, discovered the way in which this should be enjoyed, like with the cultural
So
barriers,
do
like we have with alcohol. So I, and I assume all my other fellow Catholics in the Catholic Church, is open to learning, huh, how do we actually enjoy this in the way that God intended, right? Like we enjoy alcohol in the way that God intended. And we enjoy tobacco or whatever it is in the way that God intended. Because remember, like I said, I'm going to
Mhm.
tell you this one more time. Nothing in the created world is evil. We're not just like dissing weed. And I know you probably think that we're not thinking
Well,
that,
I
but
don't
I'm
give a
just,
fuck. I don't give a shit.
right. But I'm just
Just the
trying to,
thought experiment is interesting.
right. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, we're not just writing off as like, we're just like the evil, medieval, ugly corporate Republican man who's trying to protect his, like,
That's not what I'm saying.
his fucking textile
That's
industry
not
because
what
the cannabis can like the
They're all
hemp
industries at the end of the day. Everyone's got money to make. All right, but
right, right, right.
here's a good thought experiment. So then, do you think that like, and this is a crazy thought, but if it's all the intention and the mood, and like if you're open to thinking about doing it in the right way, so what about taking weed in a church service at mass? Because if it opens up to the spiritual realm, you're in a spiritual place that's holy of God. So if you're high in church, like it opens you more up to that spiritual realm of His holiness.
Well, right.
What about that?
I actually, I mean, I've talked to priests about this, and they've explained that like you know, if you're a well-formed person, like
Which
if
I
you,
hope you would be.
thank
Taking
you,
substances that you can handle because you're a grown adult and you're not,
right, like God, if you have a well-formed conscience,
hmm
God will allow you to not be as fucked up as you could be.
But no, if you say
But
it opens you up to the spiritual realm, you're in a
but the
place
thing
of
is, like,
holiness that is that spiritual realm that you're unlocking at a more higher level.
right, but you're doing something that you shouldn't even do anyways.
But you just said you're open to finding the right way to enjoy it. So what would be the more right
Right,
way of
and what I'm
enjoying it than
telling
in the
you is that
presence of God?
the church is just still in process of learning that, and I don't know what the answer is at this
Okay,
point.
fair enough.
Does that make
Fair,
sense?
fair
Okay.
enough. Fair enough. But like to me, like that would be the only intention of like if it opens you up to that spiritual realm, then you only can do it in the guise of being in the holy presence,
Well, you have to
right?
remember, it's like,
Right? That would make logistical sense. Well, not
I mean, say that
tangible.
again. Like,
Like it, if we like if what you're saying is true, if we opens you up innately to the spiritual realm, then
right,
the
right.
only context that you can do weed is in the presence of the Holy Spirit. So like if you're in church, if you're in a holy place, that's the only place you can do weed. Otherwise, you're going to be inhibited by demons.
I
That
mean,
would make sense, right?
that's actually an interesting
Right?
point, and like, I guess perhaps I'm like not able to
Because like,
comment on
would you
that.
be inhibited by demons in church being high?
I mean, I think,
Right? See, it sounds good, right? It
well,
sounds fucking good.
well, what I think is that just depends on the individual, right?
Okay, but that's yeah, that's my point. Like if you're a well-adjusted adult that you can handle your substances and your vices moderately, it doesn't matter.
No, but you gotta. I mean,
yeah, if you're a fucked up individual, you probably shouldn't take any I don't think you should touch alcohol or weed if you're not a
Right,
well-adjusted
right, right.
individual. That's just common sense. But I'm saying, based off of your logic of transporting your mind, opening up to the spiritual realm, you should only do it in the context of something that's holy. Because otherwise,
No, no,
you're
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you happen to come across these things, or if you willfully engage in them, and you are a like you have a well-formed conscience, God will do everything He can to make sure that you don't experience the bad shit of that. Does that make
so
sense?
where it makes sense, but so then there's no better place to do that than the house of God,
No,
right?
no, it's because the principle is you just shouldn't do it in general, right? I mean, I guess that would be the case, but that's why you have the solid foundation of, yeah, let's just
Why would
not
he
do
not
that
want you to experience the spiritual realm in the most positive way?
because there's better ways of doing that.
There's a better way of doing everything, but it's like with wine, like you're that's enhancing your spiritual relevancy and your tradition of not tradition, like
You know
it's
what?
symbolic.
But that's another thing. I think alcohol isn't spiritual. I think it's more physical. Does that make sense?
You can make that argument with
That's
weed
just
too,
my
but
opinion.
no, but
But like,
but I get it, but you can make that argument with
and
weed
I'm sure
too.
you can. I'm just talking about like
No, what
my
I'm saying is
personal
like
opinion right
no,
now.
but like, based off of what you said, like you can argue back and forth metaphysically, which is worse for you spiritually. But
Right,
like,
right, right.
if both getting drunk and both getting high opens you to the negative aspects of the spiritual realm,
Right,
then
but you can drink,
logically, the
but you
only
can
way you
drink alcohol without exposing yourself to the demonic
I
realm.
get it, but what I'm saying is that like
Right,
my point is the setting and the intention behind it. If you smoke
right.
weed with the intention of getting to a higher spiritual power with God, and you take the blood of Christ with knowing the spiritual intention of you receiving His Holy Communion, it's one and the same. But if weed has a more higher effect, then it should make you be more in touch with the divine, as opposed to you just smoking weed because you had a tough week at work and
No,
just
but
want
I
to eat
think you
fucking
must.
Fritos or some shit.
No, but I think you must remember that like drunk and high aren't the same thing.
I get it, but
That's another
but you
distinction
just
that's
said
to
they
be
don't
made.
open you up to the spiritual realm when you're high and you're drunk.
Right.
So
And what
if
I'm
you're
saying
open to
is
doing it in the
that's
right way,
why no,
there you go.
that's a sort of like after the fact like silver lining kind of thing. What I'm getting at is well, because you shouldn't smoke weed or get drunk anyways. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
sure.
But if you do,
Then
like,
do it in the house of God. It'll be the most positive impact,
right, but that's not what you
right?
should do to
That
begin.
sounds fucking good.
Right. But that's not what you should do to begin with. Does that make sense?
So I feel like if you're in the church, if you're in mass, right? If you get drunk in church, you're going to be more disruptive than if you were high in church, and then you actually
But
realize
that doesn't have anything to do with like
it does.
why one is acceptable and one is not.
It's all cultural hubris is why it's acceptable. I don't think it makes a difference to me.
No,
I'm
it's
just
not.
saying tangibly when you look at it. Like, let's pretend like, I mean, this is a weird subject. Like, do you feel the same way with psychedelics? The psychedelic, to me, that's when you're opening the fucking spiritual world. You're hallucinating tangible shit as opposed to just feeling better. It's like if you took mushrooms in church and you started seeing gnomes and angels and shit and aliens, like, I feel like that's more of an experience than you just being high or drunk in church. It's more you're more rooted to earth, both high and drunk, than you are taking psychedelics.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Well,
So
that's
that
why,
inhibits
like,
you to another realm than being fucking high or drunk does.
well, that's why there's levels. Like, I'm sure. I mean, this isn't me thinking of like the actual church doctrine, but what can I imagine? Like, I'm sure there's. It's worse to do that than to be high. But then again, you got to remember, like, it's just the church prohibits any substance that exposes your faculties to the demonic world by default. Alcohol does not do that by default, right? You can like alcohol can be enjoyed as like a sort of like, you know, it's an expression of a culture. It's like it has a certain taste. It has the roots, like with the grapes and the vine of like a people that the church protected and whatnot, right? If you do it in moderation, right? Like because I mean, Christ even talked about this with the wine, right? In the New Testament, where he said, "Don't get drunk off this," right? Like you can enjoy it, just don't be retarded about it, right?
Jesus Christ.
Right, yeah. Literally so, yeah.
No, I get it, and that's why like I don't like like I said, I haven't touched alcohol in months. This is the most that I've been.
Why are you serious? You're
Yeah.
talking about how much you love rye, you don't like scotch. You
It
know
just
all the
tastes better to me.
details
I don't
about the different alcohol.
because I've worked in fucking bars and restaurants. I just know the shit. I don't partake in it too much because it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it in moderation. I don't feel the need to defend alcohol or weed. It's just the mentality behind both of them. Just they both seem like things that are not good for you outside of moderation and things that inhibit your fucking brain power and your will to live.
But you like literally can't smoke weed, though, right?
I can't do it. It literally sends me into a panic attack. I think I'm allergic to it too because when I do it, I feel like my skin's on fire. Like I don't like it. It's like my
Okay.
but like
Because I know a guy who's literally like immune to THC. Like his body cannot even process it. Like he's tried to smoke weed and it doesn't do anything.
so then does he inhibit himself into the spiritual realm if he doesn't even feel any
No,
adverse?
because in that case, he's not an able-bodied human being. Does that make sense?
I don't know, man. I just think if you can just enjoy shit once in a while, you're fine.
No,
Who
but do you see
cares?
what I'm saying? Like that's not natural. If you can't, if your body can't pronounce, like, because I'm pretty sure your body.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
No,
not
no,
affected
but
by the
like,
chemical, sure.
but correct me if I'm wrong. Like, doesn't your body naturally produce THC?
I don't know.
I know it
I
does DMT.
yeah, DMT. I know. I don't know about THC.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
because that means like DMT isn't like inherently bad.
I don't actually. I feel like if I understood what alcohol does to your body to make you drunk and what THC does to your body to make you high, I would have a more nuanced opinion on this. But like, to my mind, they both fuck you up from your natural state. So like, you should only do it. Like not so. You should only do it like either in celebratory times or not that often. Like you shouldn't do it every weekend.
Right.
You shouldn't smoke weed every day. You shouldn't drink every day. I view things in such like a this is something to do for fun times occasionally, and then you're supposed to live your life and be the best you can without those substances. You should be able to live your life
Right.
and function without alcohol and weed. That's just me.
But can you see what I'm saying when I'm saying there's a distinction between drinking alcohol and being drunk as opposed to smoking weed and being high? There's no distinction between those two.
No, there is a distinction. I'm just saying, like, I feel like there's like you can be a worse human being, and I feel like when you talk about demons, you can invoke more demons being drunk than you can being high. I get it's easier to be high than it is like you can drink alcohol and not be drunk. I get the
Well,
distinction
yeah,
between
because
the two,
going
but
back,
being drunk is worse to me than being high, is
and
what
I
I'm
agree
saying.
with you, but like what I'm saying is like I guess going back to what I was saying about like the natural inhibitors, like because alcohol makes me feel kind of bloated, because I feel hungover the next day, because I'm worried about how I'm gonna you know if I'm gonna do something to another person that I regret, like
Hmm.
there's kind of natural inhibitors that stop you, at least for me, because maybe I have the Jewish alcohol that stop me from doing it to excess. Whereas I feel like weed, if I smoke it one night and I wake up, there's no pain. I just feel like, oh yeah, I'll just smoke some more, you know. And it's just like this never-ending cycle. And that's just an anecdotal experience for me, at least I must say. Like I know some there's other
It
people that
has to
don't feel
be
like.
well. Then in that regard, it has to be person to person because I fucking freak out. I can't do it. But like
Well,
I
you have like a condition that does that, right?
well, no, it's not even that. It's just I don't like. I felt like the effects of being high and like laughy and giddy, but like I like the feeling of being drunk more than like being high before I get to the anxiety and do shit.
Really? Oh, okay.
Hmm. But again, like I'm not an angry drunk. Like I can do it to where I don't have to throw up. Like tonight, like I can. I'm getting a ride home. I'm not driving home. I'm not fucking dumb because I'm a lightweight. But like I don't have to
Trust
throw up.
him.
I don't have to fucking black out. I can just have a good time and then just be fine.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't feel the need to do stupid shit. I don't feel the need to go crash my car, fight someone. Like I don't have that mentality when I'm drunk. I just get fucking giddy and laughy
Well,
and
neither
stupid.
do I.
So then it's fine. Who gives a fuck?
Then what's fine?
Everything. If you're a person, honestly, if you're a person that can smoke weed and be drunk and you're just normal and you don't do stupid shit and you can function, you're fine. Who cares? Who cares if it's a sin? Who cares if you can't? Like it doesn't matter.
Because it opens yourself up to the spiritual realm.
Fuck it, who cares? Whatever. If you don't do any bullshit, then who cares? You open me up to the spiritual realm. I don't care. I'm not
I
gonna do
guess
anything.
it's
Well,
just
what does
different.
it matter? If that can be tangibly true, but if it doesn't affect you as a person, it doesn't make you do horrible shit. Who cares? What does it matter?
Yeah, but that's just your arbitrary viewpoint of
No,
like
but seriously,
what is
think about
like
it.
yeah, but
Why does it
well,
matter?
right, but what is bad to you in your viewpoint?
There's nothing bad about it. I can enjoy it.
No,
So
no,
like,
no, no,
if I
no,
wasn't
no,
free,
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about like what is bad about smoking weed. I'm talking about what in your viewpoint is the bad, the evil. Like, what is that?
there is no evil. You just have to be a good person, and you're a Justin. You can enjoy both
All
of
right,
them.
so if
Like, who
there's no
cares?
evil, then like, why the fuck does it matter?
It
Like,
doesn't. That's my point.
then why are you arguing about alcohol then? If how it makes you too like, who the fuck cares
Because it's
then?
easier to. It's easier to be a bad person on alcohol than it is on weed. It's easier to do fucked up shit. It's easier
But
to do
what's
demon like
bad?
behavior on alcohol.
But what's bad?
It's not innately bad. It's who you are as a person. I'm not going to
No,
do
no, no,
bad
no.
shit on
But
alcohol because I don't
like,
have the need to. I don't feel the need to
what
escape it.
is the bad though?
What do you mean? What is the bad? Like
I'm asking for like, how do
okay.
you define
So like
bad?
I can drink so much alcohol to where I am so stupid where I go drive a car and kill someone. But if I smoke a ton of weed and drive, I'm less likely to fucking kill someone. It's tangible harm to someone else
Yeah,
besides myself.
but why is that worse than the other? Like, what is your definition of
What
the bad?
what do you mean? It's because it's
What do you
easy.
mean? What I mean? I'm asking you, what is the
My
good and
faculties
what
of
is the
reason
bad?
are easier diminished on alcohol than it is on weed.
No,
I'm
no, 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 no. What is the bad in your worldview?
the bad is you causing physical harm to yourself or others. And
Why
I
is
feel
that bad?
because it's what do you mean why is it bad?
That's a serious question. Why is that bad?
It causes universal hurt. Well,
Who
okay, okay,
cares?
let's pretend, God forbid, I don't wish this on anybody or you specifically. Let's pretend a drunk driver either kills you or like your wife, right?
Right?
And someone that's smoking weed is fine on driving or they don't drive at all. They just want to stay home and just eat fucking chips. But a guy that's drunk on alcohol goes and drunk drives and kills your fucking wife. You would
Right.
have some adverse, that's universal hurt. You instinctually feel that.
But why is hurt bad?
It's not innately bad, but it's so much hurt to what do you think you have to lose someone you love to like really recognize
But like, why is losing someone you love bad?
because it innately feels terrible. It feels bad.
Why is feeling terrible bad?
Because what
No, this is a serious question. Maybe we're meant to feel that way. How do you know?
if we're meant to feel that way, then nothing fucking matters. Then it doesn't matter if you're
So
high,
then
if
you're
you're
a
drunk.
nihilist.
So I could go kill. No, that's your view. That it's a nihilistic view. Like, oh, what is bad? Or why is losing someone bad? It means nothing. That's a more nihilistic view than what I'm saying. If that was true, if that was like, well, what's
And
actually
what is
bad?
your view?
My view of bad is it causes innate harm or hurt to other people, and if
But
that's
why is that bad?
because it just it
Why is harm bad? What if we're meant to just like feel harm?
then nothing matters.
So then you're a nihilist.
No, that yes, okay, yes. If
So
I
you're a
no
nihilist.
no 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 no, don't shut me. If I thought that way, yes, I would be a nihilist. If you're trying to be in a philosophical argument of like, oh, if you're gonna be like a 5-year-old, like, well, why? Then yes, you're a
Because
nihilist. You are a nihilist if you think
how
that
the
way.
fuck I'm just putting
No,
no, I'm
no, no,
no,
no,
no, no, no.
no. Fuck
Jason,
you.
Jason,
What?
I'm putting you to the test. How can you give an account for what is good and what is bad on your worldview?
You have to have okay, fine, fair enough. You have to have a definitive worldview. So, like, if you think morality comes from God and you think that we can't decide what's good or bad, only He can decide what's good or bad, then sure, we can argue from that paradigm. It does. My view of good and
Right.
bad is causing innate hurt to you and me. Like, if I got so drunk and I got mad at you for having this argument and I beat you to death, and that has no like, and if that wasn't bad. Then fuck it.
Well, like,
What does it matter?
what is
That's a nihilistic view. If I beat you
no,
to
but
death
like,
right now
what is the
because I'm
bad?
drunk,
What is the bad?
I kill you. That's the bad.
Why is that bad?
Would you not like to live?
That doesn't matter. Why is that bad?
You can't argue from abstract. It's either bad or it's not. We attribute
Right, but I'm
morality
asking
to a
you.
social construct. If you think, okay,
Okay, so
would
then
God,
there is
okay,
some good
wait,
news.
wait, 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 wait. Would God want me to kill you?
I don't know. What do you think?
Murder's a sin, right? If I kill you right now because I'm mad at
It
you
doesn't
for
matter what I think. What do you
no,
think?
no,
What do you
I think
think?
murder's bad.
Why?
Because okay, fine.
We had a fucking argument.
Bro, no. Okay, I'm explain this as simply as I can. If I kill you right now I think that it's bad because I think murder is wrong. But you think murder is wrong because God
You
no.
think it's bad because it's bad. It's a
Yes, it is. Okay.
Okay, explain to me
Okay.
how it's
All
not.
right. All right. Let me just for the sake of argument, let me agree with like the one like I'll agree with the Ten Commandments that murder is a sin, right? So if I kill someone, I think God should punish me. I believe that. I don't know if there is a God, but if there is one, I think that would be a pretty logical thing to deduce, right? So if I kill you right now, from the context of God choosing morality and saying you cannot murder another human being out of cold blood, and alcohol was the thing that made me do that, then by definition, that's worse than me just getting high and eating a pack of Doritos and doing nothing with my Saturday night or Friday night.
But like, why is that
Oh, fuck.
worse, killing me, than the other option? Why is that worse?
Because it's more like
Because it's the same.
it's
That's what you
unforgivable.
fucking widow.
Unforgivable sin. Right? I said so.
I'm not asking about my fucking paradigm. I'm asking about
No, you're
yours.
from your paradigm, so I have to get on
But
your fucking level.
I'm putting the
Answer your paradigm, Will.
I'm putting the burden of proof on you. Why is it that you believe that?
I believe murder is wrong because it causes inherent pain. Whether that
Why
means
is pain
wait,
bad?
because I think it's bad. But if you
That's a fucking
no,
super.
what is
It's a fucking super.
we think the same thing from different? Yes, we do. Okay, you think murder is an unforgivable sin from God, right? Commandments. You cannot murder another human being in cold
How
blood.
does it being from the commandments mean it's unforgivable? No sin is unforgivable except blasphemy of the Holy Spirit.
Will you blaspheme the Holy Spirit more on alcohol or weed? How about that one?
What do you think blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is?
I don't know. Rejecting Christ? I don't fucking know.
It means that, like, God offers